Okay, well, we're well into the build-up then now to the start of the senior TT today, the final race of Centenary TT. 11 minutes to go before the start, and high time we join Chris Kinley.
Yes, thank you very much, Charlie. Good morning to everybody. Back down here in Parc Fermé, just a little bit busier down here. I've got to say hello to... I did have a piece of paper I wanted to say. We have heard that Big H is not going to be a starter today, which is a bit of a loss. Paul will not also be competing at the Steam Packet races, but he hopes to be back for only, when you think about it, 4 weeks' time at the Southern 100. And just want to say a quick hello to Erica at speedy.co.com. They are from Paul Owen, the Welshman from Llangollen, says, thank you very much for all your help. So up on the road we go, just having a quick look at the lap times. John McGuinness on Wednesday, only 2 days ago, 128.94, so nearly 129 on that practice lap the other day. Guy Martin also on that practice lap, quicker again, 128.06. Ian Locker on that practice lap yet again, 127.8. And then again, another quick lap for Hutchie there on that Wednesday practice, 120.7. Finnegan, 126.9. Archibald, 126.8. So they're all getting quicker. They really all are getting quicker. Let's have a word with Hutchie now. We're not far away from the start now. Ian, just jump in and have a quick word. 6 laps to go in. This is going to be a toughie.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You know, the start of most of the races now, people say this one's going to be a close one. They all are now, you know. Everybody's on the ball on the first lap, and just glad the conditions are better than they are on Monday. You know, the damp conditions didn't really suit me on Monday, so hopefully I can get stuck in for the team today and, you know, prove what the bike's sort of made for.
Think John's going to go like a scolded cat like he normally does first lap?
Yeah, of course he is. You know, everyone is. You just can't get away with taking a steady lap anymore, and Guy's going to be on for it, and Ian Locker, I think he's got his setup back together, and Bruce obviously had a disappointing first Superbike race, so it is going to be a hell of a race.
It is. Good luck today.
Thank you.
There you go, Ian Hutchinson there, just having a quick look, sat with their backs to the wall there, as Guy Martin and Martin Finnegan looking very, very focused. As Guy, you're normally good for a word as Guy, but unfortunately, Guy is pretty much, I don't know, what's the word I'm searching for? Focused, the old 1,000 yards there, just going to get past there, Phil from Dunlop there. Here's the man. Well, it's finally here, John, the big silver lady. That's what we're all going for.
That's the one, isn't it? Yeah, I've had it a couple of times before. I'd like it again. It'd be nice, but full grid of superb riders on here, you know. So I'll just get my head down on the start like I always do and see what happens. Fingers crossed we'll be there or thereabouts towards the end of the first lap, and hopefully they'll turn me around in the pits pretty good, and we'll see what happens. We just want to try and enjoy it. 6 laps, tough race, long race. A lot of people out on the track. Let's try and put on a good show.
Good lap from you on Wednesday. Now, Wednesday afternoon, well, Wednesday evening, as it turned out, nearly 129. Must be very happy with the bike.
Yeah, the bike's really good, to be honest. It was a standing start, and it was 17:33, which is through a bit of traffic as well. So, yeah, the bike's absolutely good enough to win the race. It's just the pilot on the day, you know. If I can do the job, I'll try my best. And but yeah, the bike's awesome. Been an awesome all week. Lap records have tumbled in all the classes. You know, I think it's been a fantastic week, and let's just try and finish it off today all safely and have a good one.
Good luck today, John.
Thanks. Cheers.
There you go, John McGuinness there. He will be definitely the man to beat, moving through the scutches of people that are down here. And let's just jump out the way. Michael Rutter here, and well, bit of water in that, Michael. I owe you one.
Yeah, I'll get you.
Not before this though. Okay, bit of luck today. Hope for a finish.
Yeah, that's it. You know, teams tried hard. We just had some real bad luck, and sometimes the Isle of Man does this to you. And if we can do 6 laps of this race, and I'll be more than happy.
You have obviously same problems with the Superbike, setting it up through practice. Quite pleased with it now after the lap you did on, when was it, Wednesday?
Yeah, you know, handling-wise, the bike's been fantastic. We just had a few problems with engines. We've got just a standard road bike engine in it for this, you know, so we can just get a good finish and just do the best we can.
Good luck today, Michael.
Thank you. Cheers.
It is firing off at number 1 in just a little while. So here we go. Here is the board at 10:39. Well, 10:35 it says on there. Thank you, Trace. Lack of adhesion at Glen Helen. There'll obviously be that little bit of water that comes up out of the road there. Also at Sarah's, the 11th milestone, Hanley's exit. Ooh, dear me, just have to go over the little yellow grid there, and Guthrie. So lack of adhesion at Glen Helen. Water, Sarah's, the 11th milestone, Hanley's exit, and Guthrie's. The boys will see that board each time when they go out and get through. We're just going to jump in a second and just have a quick word with Adrian Archibald while he just has a quick chat with Stephen there. Adrian, big one today. You've had this before.
Yeah, I have. You know, hasn't been the best of weeks for me, but I think we've got the bike handling well and all now. Done a good lap in practice Thursday or Friday
Wednesday
night. Yeah, or sorry, during the week there. Yeah, so. I think we'll give it a go today and see where we're at.
Speeds again. What did you do on Wednesday? 126.8. It's your quickest lap of the week. So
Yeah, I have been struggling with the bike, but we've made a bit of a breakthrough now, so hopefully we'll get something decent out of this today.
you're not banging your head against a brick wall anymore then?
No.
Good luck today, Adrian. Cheers. Thank you very much. So, yeah, Adrian, previous winner here as well. Past the Max Gas machine and Martin Finnegan at number 4. And Martin actually has the rear-facing camera, which is just there. If you look at Martin, if you're on the right-hand side of his machine, it's just by where his right butt cheek could be, basically. And that's where his camera is set up on the machine there. Hiya. Let's go moving right the way through the back here now. I don't know where Tim's gone. He's up here somewhere. Let's have a word with Bruce. Talks the clerk of the former clerk of the course, Jack Wood. And Jack giving you a bit of advice there, Bruce.
Yeah, no, saying good luck, as he always does.
He always comes and says hello to you, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yep.
Okay, nervous? Silly question, really, but are you?
A little bit. Just sort of get a good few 2 laps in and sort of see what happens from there.
Superbike's not been the best for you this week. You and Adrian had lots of problems with them.
Yeah, I've had struggling all week, but hopefully last night it was sounding really good on the dyno. Got a whole lot of new gear on there, so hopefully it should be good.
Different on the dyno than getting it here.
Yeah, it should be right.
Good luck today, Bruce.
All right, cheers.
Thank you, Bruce Anstey. Cheers, thanks very much. Let's jump in here just before Ian scoffs his lid on just if I can. Ian, good lap from you the other day. Ian must have been happy that on Wednesday.
Yeah, at last we've got a good setting, we think, and it should be good. You know, I'm looking forward to it now. Can't wait to get going.
6 laps, a long, long way. You've done it a lot of times before, though.
Nah, it's not that far really. These things are so fast, it feels like nothing.
Ian, good luck today.
Thanks.
Ian Locker there going off at number 7. You hear the whistles go, and that means there's 3 minutes to go. Ryan Farquhar there, is it just about to put his lid on? It is. Ryan didn't actually recognise him. He looks absolutely focused. Steve Plater there, he goes off today at number 11. Ryan Farquhar here, previous winner, going off at number 9. And, well, he's focused for this as well. Who else can we see there? As I just moved that out of the way. There's Connor. Good luck today, Connor.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks very much.
There you go. I'll let you go because you've got to get ready for this race. Another one of the newcomers has been moved up to number 12. That's Keith Moore. Another 6 laps to go here now. Keith, good luck today.
Thanks very much, mate. Should be good fun, this. Nice and dry.
What do you make of the 6th lap from the first time you did it on Monday?
I actually found it was easier than the other two. The other two were just a little bit hectic, but I don't think I was going so fast then, so I'm sure this is going to be a lot harder.
It's just looking at your quickest lap, 121.81 from Wednesday. Mega pleased with that, I suppose.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it just kind of came together, eh? Steve and I had a really good battle or two, so I've been enjoying myself.
Good luck today.
Thanks, mate.
There you go, Keith Moore. I'm sure he's going to focus, going to feature very well. Gary Carswell and Ian Armstrong. Why? Well, rest of the minute away. Ian, good luck today.
All right, cheers, mate.
It's going to be good conditions out there for you. A few damp patches. They've got a board down there telling you where they are.
All right, yeah, well, should be a good do.
All right, Ian, good luck today. Ian Armstrong. Gary Carswell looking a bit nervous there.
Never. I'm never nervous, me, am I?
Well, I don't know. You've made it into the top 100 TT moments as well. Did you know that?
Aye, that big wheelie I did at Balacry.
Yes, you have. I've seen that.
I don't want to do any more like that at all.
All right, good luck today, Gar.
Cheers.
There you go, Gary Carswell. We are going to have to move on forward because we're 1 minute and 15 away. It's come all of a sudden. Les Shand. Les should be quite a good goer today. 23rd quickest in practice at 117.18. There's Guy Martin on the. Can Guy Martin get a decent run at this? And can he get going early? And really put the pressure on McGuinness because John is going to go here like a scalded cat. 128, I beg your pardon, 0.948, and that was on Wednesday evening practice. Just before we go to Charlie, with less than a minute to go, the lack of adhesion flag at Glen Helen, Sarah's 11th milestone, Handley's exit, and Guthrie's. That's the word, Charlie. Up to you.
So 100 years ago, in the very first running of this very race, it was Frank Hulbert and Jack Marshall who led them off the start line at St John's, and Charles Collier on a Matchless and Rem Fowler on a Honda, who were the first winners. For Hulbert and Marshall, read Michael Rutter and Adrian Archibald, but who will follow Charlie Collier as the latest recipient of that famous silver trophy? McGuinness, Anstey, Hutchinson, Martin, all in the mix, all to race for the senior TT, the blue ribbon of motorcycle racing, the one race they all dream of winning. We are 15 seconds away from the start of the race. The senior TT, sponsored by PokerStars here on the Isle of Man. First bike away will be Michael Rutter. The Lieutenant Governor is on the podium. The national flag of the Isle of Man is in his right hand. He waves it and away we go. We are racing here at the Isle of Man, and there goes Michael Rutter on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki ZX-10. Action here at the Centenary TT. Number 2, Adrian Archibald, and away goes Adrian on the relentless Suzuki by Taz. 7th in the Superbike, but all eyes now on John McGuinness, who sets off now. The outright lap record holder, the winner of the Superbike race, which of course was postponed from Saturday, held on Monday. Martin Finnegan is the next to go. Away goes Martin, the man who took MV to a very good 4th place, and Martin with 2 4th places at the TT this year. Next off is Bruce Anstey. And there he goes on the Suzuki. Interesting to note that Anstey on the Superstock has the fastest lap time of all this week. That lap time quicker than any in the Superbike TT. Ian Hutchinson is away now. Hutchie, the winner of his first TT a couple of days ago on the 600 machine. What a boost that must be to him, and confirmation of the potential which everybody's seen in him since he first arrived here at the mountain course in the Manx Grand Prix. Ian Locker is safely away, and next off is Guy Martin. Set the lap record for the 600s, finished 3rd, and said, I must try harder. And I get very worried about Guy Martin when he talks about trying harder. 9 is next off, Ryan Farquhar. Ryan hasn't finished this race since 2003, so he's looking for a decent finish today. And now one of the discoveries of the last couple of years, number 10, Connor Cummins from Ramsey here in the Isle of Man. Only 21 years of age and already a force to be reckoned with. And here's another force to be reckoned with, number 11. It's Steve Plater on the AIM Yamaha. His TT has got better and better, and what an impression he's made. Sheer determination by Steve Plater and a lot of talent as well. Number 12, Keith Amore, another very good newcomer. Keith Amore, who's had a splendid year already on the roads in Northern Ireland, and confirming that here in the Isle of Man. Number 13 is Ian Armstrong with another good finish in the Superbike race the other day. Ian taking 9th in that race, so away goes Ian on the Canteen Smithy Yamaha R1. Nobody at 14 because Paul Hunt sadly is a non-starter. But off goes Gary Carswell now with a little leap and a bump, but he's got it away. And that front wheel does want to keep coming off the tarmac, doesn't it? But he's got away under the bridge, has Gary. They go off one by one at 10-second intervals. It's a race against the clock as well as a race against the mountain. Next off is Davey Morgan, who took a very good 7th place in this race last year on the Honda Fireblade, and now number 17, Nigel Beattie in the Millsport Racing colours on the Yamaha R1. Nigel had a very good run as well in the 600 race the other day. 18 is a non-starter, and 19 likewise a non-starter. As I mentioned earlier on, Johnny Barton deciding during the course of the Superstock race that that would be his last race around the mountain course. So it'll be number 20, Mark Parrott, to go next on the Ripley Land Yamaha R1, and off he goes now. And Mark's had he's had an up and down TT, I suppose you could say. He was in 5th place when he retired in the 600 event a couple of days ago, but a very good 6th place in the Superstock confirmed Mark's abilities here around the mountain course. Nobody at 21 because of the late withdrawal of Chris Heath. So 22 is now Gary Johnson. There goes Gary Johnson, a newcomer this year, and somebody else who really has taken to racing around here like a duck to water. He didn't go in the 600, but he's done very well in the other 2 races before that, now on a Yamaha R1. And next off, number 23, James McBride, with a good 7th place finish in the Superstock race. Somebody else who's getting better and better around here. And here's another one in exactly the same category, Dan Stewart, number 24. His results this year, he's had a 12th, a 10th, and an 11th, and he's really going well. Here's Chris Palmer now. Chris Palmer, number 25, on the Solway Slate and Tile Yamaha R1. And next should be Les Shan, number 26, it is. Bright sunshine here, really forcing its way through the clouds here on the Isle of Man. Les Shand is off and racing. Ian Pattinson is next to go on the Martin Bullock Suzuki, but we're off to Morris at Glen Helen.
Yes, thank you, Charlie. Sunshine here as well, and we await the arrival of Michael Rutter. Should be the first man on the road. He was first away, machine interview. There he is. Put up the fastest lap in 1998, Michael, but obviously he returns to the TT, and we're in the senior race. 3, McGuinness, so he's ahead of Archibald already. There's Archibald now, so McGuinness ahead on the road, and obviously at this stage up on corrected time, but with Anstey to come yet. Finnegan should be next, followed by hopefully Ian Hutchinson, who had that tremendous victory this week, his first victory in the TT, but there's a bit of a gap built up now. McGuinness has flown through here, long gone, and we don't have another machine in view. but Rutter has gone through, Archibald is through, McGuinness is through, but now there is Anstey, so no sign of Finnegan. 6, Hutchinson, very, very quick there, so I think Hutchinson's probably caught up time on Anstey, but it's McGuinness who leads from Hutchinson by 2.25 seconds, with Bruce Anstey in third, Michael Rutter and Adrian Archibald. That was Locker. So Locker safely through here, but McGuinness already 2 seconds up on Ian Hutchinson, lap 1 at Glen Helen. There's Guy Martin also through. Guy slots into third place behind Ian Hutchinson. Locker's in fourth. Anstey's only in fifth here, but it's McGuinness by 2 seconds from Ian Hutchinson. Ian Hutchinson in turn has a 1 second advantage over Guy Martin. They're followed by Ian Locker 2 seconds down on that. Then a further 2 seconds back is Bruce Anstey. In sixth place, Michael Rutter, yet another 2 seconds behind Anstey, and just about 3 seconds ahead of Adrian Archibald on corrected time. 10 is Connor Cummins. I understand that Ryan Farquhar, number 9, has stopped at the Hawthorn, so it's a disappointment there for Ryan. 11, Steve Plater, newcomer, having such a good week. He battling with Keith and Moore, I suspect, for the best newcomer, but Steve Plater safely through. Tremendous 10th place he had the other day. There's Keith and Moore, 10th in the Superbike for Steve Plater. So 2.25 seconds, the advances for McGuinness. Fantastic. 15, Gary Carswell. No, could be wrong there. Ian Armstrong, number 13. Sorry, Gary's not due yet. Just difficult to pick that number up, but Ian Armstrong also having a good week. He's had a 9th, 16th and 11th places, 12th in this race last year, and he's safely through Glen Helen after that first 9.5 mile run. As the aforementioned Gary Carswell, he is through now. He had a good play here, 10th place last year, 9th of course in the Superstock, and I think along with Connor bidding to be the fastest Manxman, currently held by Gary Carswell, I think, and Gary Carswell slots into 8th place. Steve Plater in 9th, 16 now is Davey Morgan. Just slotting that one in, it's Nigel Beattie there. Now Nigel of course had a problem in the Superbike, retired of course on the line when the scrutineers found a little bit of a problem for him, but since then gone very well indeed, and certainly going well today. In 8th place, Nigel Beattie, just a fraction of a second down on Connor Cummins, and Connor Cummins is only half a second down on Michael Rutter, who's holding 6th. So the lineup, as we just take this one through: 20, Mark Parrott. So it's John McGuinness by just over 2 seconds from Ian Hutchinson. Ian Hutchinson has an advantage of 1 second over Guy Martin, who's in third. Guy Martin's got a couple of seconds lead over Ian Locker, who's in fourth. Anstey is in 5th place, 2 seconds down on Locker and 2 seconds up on Michael Rutter, who's in 6th. They're followed by Connor Cummins, just half a second down on that. 22 through now is Gary Johnson. That's the other change of number, taking Dean Sylvester's place. I think we've got as far as Connor Cummins, who was half a second down on Rutter in 7th, and just, less than a second ahead of Nigel Beattie, 25. I think that was Chris Palmer, another of the locals, and I'm sure Chris will be in action tomorrow. Looking forward to that down at Ballown. But the news from Glen Helen lap 1 is that John McGuinness leads Ian Hutchinson by 2 seconds. In third place is Guy Martin. So from me here at Glen Helen, it's back to the grandstand.
My name's Richard Milky Quayle, and I listen to TT2021.
Manx Radio TT2021, from the Isle of Man to the biking world.
Listening to Manx Radio TT with Bennett, the biking station. Full live coverage of the senior TT. Some additional non-starters for you. Number 36, Michael Waynand, and 39, Victor Gilmore. No big surprise there after mishaps during the week. And 41, Tim Marr, also a non-starter. In front of us, the riders are still continuing to leave, but I can tell you that the news from Balaf is that Guy Martin has moved into second place there, so McGuinness leading from Guy Martin, a 3-second gap between McGuinness and Guy Martin, and Martin fractionally ahead of Ian Hutchinson at Balaf, with Ian Locker in fourth place still. Connor Cummins up to 5th there. And Anstey must be having problems, because at the moment on corrected time from Balaf, he's right down in 11th place. So Anstey has clearly got problems. He's off the pace, and Gary Carswell has now moved in front of him as well. So clear difficulties for the Suzuki team out there on the west coast of the island. No doubt Roy Moore will tell us more when they get to Ramsey Hairpin, but it's not looking good for Bruce at the moment. So the 1, 2, 3 at Balaf is McGuinness, Martin and Hutchinson, with Locker at the moment in 4th place. The Unisys speed trap out there on Selby is telling me that Ian Hutchinson is the fastest through the speed trap, 191.2 miles an hour on the Honda. Next quickest, it's Connor Cummins, 185.4 for Connor on the Yamaha. And next quickest after that, Guy Martin's Honda, 182.4. But now they're closing in on Roy at Ramsey.
Yes, they certainly will be. You can see the crowd stir. Wheelchair-bound Robert with his good lady down there on the scaffolding, put in place by Glenn Kinraid in the Manx Hospitality area at Stella Maris. Stir on the banking as they hear the sound of a machine approaching Ramsey Hairpin, and it's number 3, John McGuinness, leads on the road. John McGuinness leads on the road, tips it in, absolute tremendous lean, and there's Michael Rutter. So John McGuinness absolutely on the pace because he's got past from Glen Helen here to Ramsey. Michael Rutter on the road. There's number 2, Adrian Archibald on the relentless Suzuki by Taz, safely through, just misses a gear there. The front just comes up and he has to shut it off, as no doubt you would hear on the background. But the news from Balaf was that Guy Martin was absolutely flying and just 3 seconds in it, so the hurry up might have been done. Here's number 6 now. Back end twitches under the braking there off Ian Hutchinson as he tips the HM Plant Honda into Ramsey Hairpin and gets it immediately on the power, and the gear changing is absolutely superb as he takes that away up towards the waterworks. So we're looking for now number 8, and here he is. This is Guy Martin, so he's made up a bit of time and a very fast approach. He's gone past Ian Locker. There's Guy Martin through, so he's taken Ian Locker on the road already, and Ian Locker's not too happy about that and is trying his hardest to get back in touch with Guy Martin there, number 7, and we can tell you that the difference is still maintaining that 3 seconds at 3.91. The difference, there's number 5, Bruce Anstey, so dropping time. Bike sounds all right, but he has a quick look over his left shoulder as he left Ramsey Hairpin, and just had a look, I think, down towards the bike. So 3.91 seconds is the difference. Ian Hutchinson holding on to 3rd, but he's just 1.62 seconds down on Guy Martin. It's then Adrian Archibald, 18 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson, with Michael Rutter making the top 5, 2 seconds only, 2.15 seconds down on Adrian Archibald. And I think that rider that we had through there was, but this is number 11, very, very fast approach there. Steve Plater absolutely got Ramsey Hairpin off to a treat now and away, and certainly justifying that position to go up. And something's gone quite a bit miss here, but number 12 is with us now. Number 12, Keith Moore, another newcomer, but certainly he's trying hard as well. So just 3 seconds in it. And then that battle lower down the field, number 13, Ian Armstrong. He's safely through Ramsey Hairpin as well, and accelerating away up towards Waterworks as the sun just tries to break out here down at the Ramsey area, or Yamsey as it's been known all through the week. Slight difficulties here with our computer system, which seems to have not decided to play, but the way things are working out, we'll be able to have given you that top 6 as Gary Carswell, number 15, is through here. That battle between John McGuinness, number 3, and Guy Martin, number 8, 3.61 seconds, I think it was, at Ramsey Hairpin. Number 17 is here with us now, shaking the back end as he comes in. That's Nigel Beattie, closely followed by number 16 there. Number 16, Davy Morgan. Davy Morgan safely through Ramsey Hairpin as well, and accelerating away as they do. Absolutely tremendous, and the tension that you can see from the first lap here of this senior TT. Well, there was an Alec Bennett who won 3 senior TTs, and this commentary being brought to you courtesy of Bennett's The Biking Station on a tremendous last day of racing in Prospect on the Isle of Man. Number 20 now, down through the box, Mark Parrott. He's round very neatly indeed too, and accelerates away. A flat tyre stopped him the other day, and he got the flat tyre, would you believe, and I discovered it at the bottom of Bray Hill. That's the last place you want, and a good picture there in the news that many publications which are getting done of a dejected Mark Parrott sitting looking at a flat back tyre on his machine. It's number 22 now, number 22 into Ramsey. It's Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson is here. So with the news that it's 4 seconds is the difference. It's 3.91 officially. 23 is the next machine interview. That's James McBride, and he's followed, but he has made up a bit of time. 24, I would think, Dan Stewart, and a very, very fast approach by 25. That looks like Chris Palmer, and it certainly is. He just got it anchored up in time there. The big superbike just taking a little bit of stopping to come into Ramsey, but certainly that was the way. We have then Adrian Archibald. Let's see, a top three. John McGuinness by 4 seconds from Guy Martin. It's then Ian Hutchinson just 1 second down on Guy Martin. Fourth, Ian Locker, 12 seconds down on Hutchinson. Then Connor Cummins, 6 seconds down on Ian Locker, with our top six being made up by Adrian Archibald, just 1 second down on Connor Cummins. On behalf of Bennett's, the biking station, back to the grandstand.
Max Radio TT365, the sound of your bike.
Guinness is on a flyer. I can tell you he's at Crognimona already. If he's going to do 130 miles an hour, the target is 17 minutes and 21, so less than a minute to go. 16 minutes 42.43 his time so far. He might not quite do 130. He could break the old lap record set last year, 129.451 miles an hour, so it's going to be tight. But John McGuinness, one thing beyond question, has taken the race by the scruff of the neck. At the bungalow, he was over 6 seconds ahead of Guy Martin in second place, and Martin with a 1 second lead over Ian Hutchinson in third place. But McGuinness ahead on the road. His will be the bike that next comes into view down Glen Crutchery Road, and we're coming up towards that target. He's been going 17 minutes 18, 17 19, 17 20, 17 21, so he's not going to be the 130, but he's coming through now. He comes from past in front of us now, and 129.883 miles an hour is a new outright lap record here at the Isle of Man from a standing start by John McGuinness. Applause all around the grandstand. Not the 130 yet, but it's the fastest we've ever seen around this course in Centenary year. And here comes the second man on the road. That's Michael Rutter goes through. Michael, who's been lying in sixth place at Crognimona, but of course adjusted time is what it's all about. There goes Adrian Archibald through at the end of that lap. So what a performance by John McGuinness. We sensed he was on a flyer, we sensed he meant business, and he once again is the fastest man ever around this track. Number 6 goes through. That's his HM Plant teammate Ian Hutchinson. And Hutchinson 128.414 miles per hour. But what about Guy Martin? Guy Martin in second place. He's through Crognimona as well. They'll be streaming past us soon. And here comes the next man, and that is Guy Martin, as Martin goes through at the end of lap 1. Also in excess of 128, 128.690 miles an hour. But McGuinness is still going away and going away. It's over 9 seconds now, the gap between first and second. Fantastic stuff, and it's only going to get better and better, isn't it? With McGuinness out there now on lap 2. What about Anstey? Will he come in for adjustments at the end of this lap? There are clear problems with the Suzuki, so surely Anstey will have to come in for attention in the pits. But at the end of lap 1, it's McGuinness who leads on the Honda. Guy Martin second, Honda. Ian Hutchinson third, Honda. Ian Locker in fourth place, Honda. And Adrian Archibald, as it stands, Suzuki in fifth. But we're still waiting for Connor Cummins to come through, and Connor comes through right now, and there is Connor in fifth place. So Connor Cummins in fifth place, 125.612 Connor's time, Connor's speed in that opening lap. Martin Finnegan, by the way, has been signalled as a retirement. Martin Finnegan has been signalled as a retirement, and number 6 Phil Harvey, an additional non-starter. But here comes Anstey now into the stop box, so he is coming into the pits, right foot down, up, and moves on into his pits. So let's just find out from Chris what Chris can tell us.
Big shake of the head there from Bruce. It doesn't look good at all. He says the bike's moving all over the place. He'll try and get in and have a quick word after he's told the guys. But what a standing start lap from John there, 129.8, a new lap record. If we just get in and have a word to Bruce. Bruce, what seems to be the problem?
I don't know. It seems to be not handling properly. I don't know what's happened to it. We had it handling really good at the end of the week, but I don't know what's gone wrong there.
Okay, Bruce, thanks very much for that. So handling problems, Charlie.
We just heard that Finnegan retired at Ballig. Finnegan retired at Ballig Bridge. So disappointment there for Martin after 2 fourth-place finishes earlier on in the week's racing. So let me give you the chapter and verse then at the end of lap 1. Our race leader, number 3, John McGuinness, with a lap time of 17 minutes 25.77, and that's a speed of 129.883 as Gary Carswell goes through. Second, number 8, Guy Martin, 17 minutes 35.46, 128.690 miles an hour. Third place, number 6, Ian Hutchinson, 17 minutes 37.74, 128.414. And in fourth place, number 7, Ian Locker, 17 minutes 50.10, 126.931. Davy Morgan has come into the pits as well, and he's not looking happy at all, and he's just paddling the bike up towards his pit as number 20 goes through. Number 20, that's Mark Parrott, so he's through and safely off on his second lap. And I've just been told by Chris that Davy Morgan is a retirement in the pits at the end of lap 1. So McGuinness with a 9-second lead, hurtling towards Morris at Glen Helen. Guy Martin in second place, 2 seconds ahead of Ian Hutchinson. Hutchinson with a 12-second lead over Ian Locker. So it's all about the top 3, and it's off to Glen Helen and Morris.
Yeah, spot on timing, because here is the race leader, McGuinness. He's through here now for the second time. Neat, stylish, round this long sweeping left-hander and off towards Craig Willis in record time. It's been a record week for many reasons, none more so than in the racing. We seem to have had records every day, and already again today 129.883 from a standing start for McGuinness. What will it be on lap 2? Although he'll be slowing down, of course, to come in for the pits. We've always said that in these races there's only one flying lap, which will be the 6th, and by then all sorts of reasons why that will not necessarily be the quickest by any means. Right, that's Michael Rutter through safely. He's 52 seconds down on corrected time, followed by Adrian Archibald. Adrian Archibald holding on to, I think, 6th place. Rutter was 7th on corrected time. That's a quicker approach for number 6. So Ian Hutchinson, he's through currently in second, but we await the arrival of Guy Martin, number 8. He should be with us fairly shortly indeed. But John McGuinness, he's just currently 14 seconds up on Ian Hutchinson. What will he be on this man? Guy Martin is 10 seconds down, just a little bit more than it was at the grandstand at the completion of that lap. I think it was just over 19. I can tell you his lap here, McGuinness's lap. Glen Helen to Glen Helen as Locker goes through was 17 minutes 18 seconds. Phenomenal stuff. And of course at that pace the 130 mile is in sight, there's no doubt about that. But it's McGuinness now, an advantage of just over 10 seconds, probably a second more than it was at the grandstand, so in that 9.5 miles. But Guy Martin's pushing on, certainly. He's 4 seconds up on Ian Hutchinson, who holds that 3rd place. Ian Locker on corrected time currently in 4th place, 17 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson, with Adrian Archibald in 5th, Michael Rutter in 6th. A couple of disappointments early on in some of the early numbers, of course, with the departure of Finnegan, Anstey and Ryan Farquhar. 10, Connor Cummins, still going well, Connor, holding on to that 5th place. Slots in there above Adrian Archibald. He's 11 seconds down on Ian Locker, but has a 4-second advantage over Adrian Archibald, who in turn is nearly 5 seconds up on Michael Rutter, currently in 7th place. Mark Buckley seemed to be well up on the leaderboard. Certainly won't be passed here, but he's round about 16th place. That was Steve Plater. Now, Steve, of course, as a newcomer, really going well. He's just a couple of seconds down on Michael Rutter and holding on to 8th place. That's Steve Plater, change of number 11. He was 10th in the Superbike, just going a little bit better than that in the senior. 12, that's the other newcomer, Keith Amore. And Keith at the moment holding on to 9th place, but he's 8 seconds down on Steve Plater. Another pretty reasonable approach there from Ian Armstrong, number 13. He's moved up a slot. He's currently 3 seconds down on Keith Amore. So those are the first 10 through so far, but McGuinness absolutely flying with that opening lap and has an advantage of some 10 seconds. But certainly Guy Martin not hanging about. Was indicated, he said he needed to go quicker. He was 5th in this race last year. He was 2nd, of course, in the Superbike, 3rd in the Super Sport, and I think in the Super Stock he retired out of fuel, I think. But having a good week, but obviously when interviewed seems to feel he can go somewhat better. But there's not much answer to McGuinness, certainly on the HM Plant Honda. 15, Gary Carswell, the other of the locals. There's a quick approach. That's Nigel Beattie. Nigel really settled in this week, and I'm sure enjoying his run in perfect conditions here at Glen Helen, as they must be all around the course. The mist must have gone off the mountain in good time, and this was a race that got away spot on time at 10:45. So it's Ian Armstrong in 13th place, Nigel Beattie in, Ian Armstrong in 10th place, Nigel Beattie in 11th, and Gary Carswell in 12th. So a good battle there between the two locals, Nigel Beattie and Gary Carswell. But Gary is 15 seconds down on Nigel Beattie, but Nigel's only 2 seconds behind Ian Armstrong, who's in that 13th place. But it's John McGuinness leading by 10 seconds from Guy Martin. Guy Martin in turn 4 seconds up over Ian Hutchinson. Then it's Locker, Connor Cummins, Adrian Archibald, Michael Rutter, Steve Plater, Keith Moore, Armstrong, Beattie and Carswell. And back to the grandstand with Bennett's the biking station.
Thanks to the Centenary TT Festival, our roads have never been so busy. But it's not just people and vehicles that use them. The entire TT course is made up of public roads, so all kinds of animals, from domestic pets to farm livestock, could be just around the next corner. So keep an eye on your pets and stay extra aware when you're driving or riding. Make sure you and your pets and farmers' livestock are kept safe and sound this TT. Love the TT. Love life. Take it easy.
In the interest of safety, the Manx Motorcycle Club respectfully requests that all domestic animals and livestock adjoining the TT course are secured during the practice and race periods. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter, which is greatly appreciated.
Manx Radio TT.
Encore une fois, un nouveau record pour un tour du tracé 207,8 km/h par John McGuinness. Et en sortant de Glen Helen, selon les chronos, en tête le numéro 3, John McGuinness, 10 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 8, Guy Martin. Lui, 4 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 6, Ian Hutchinson. Heike.
Dankeschön. Jedes Rennen bietet Unterhaltung. Jedes Rennen dieses Jahr bietet auch Rekorde. Ein neuer Rekord von John McGuinness. Er hat seinen Rundenrekord gebrochen mit nunmehr 207,8 km/h. Da fehlt nicht mehr viel an seiner Traumzeit. An der 208er wollen wir aber abwarten. Abwarten brauchen wir nicht. Wir wissen, dass nach der ersten Runde in Glen Helen die Führungsspitze wie folgt aussieht. Start Nummer 3, John McGuinness. Gefolgt mit einem Abstand von 10,2 Sekunden ist die Start Nummer 8, Guy Martin. Mit einem weiteren Rückstand von 4,1 Sekunden ist die Nummer 6, Ian Hutchinson. Und damit zurück an Charlie.
Some further retirements to tell you about. Number 63, Daniel Jansen. After all that effort rebuilding the bike in the small hours of the morning, at least he got to the start line. But Daniel Jansen, sadly, is a retirement. Also number 70, Robert Barber. And number 75, Chris Petty. They are also retirements. Just time to tell you that Connor Cummins is now again the fastest Manxman round the mountain course. His lap time 125.612. His lap speed replaces Gary Carswell from the Superstock race. But now to Ramsey and Roy.
Yes, we're just waiting in an absolutely spot-on cue, because just as we come over, John McGuinness sweeps round Stella Maris, round the hairpin. That knee slider, well, we can tell how he required that. He lost it on his left-hand side the other day, and would you believe it, when you're going round Ramsey hairpin, who would have thought? And if you talk to some of the old TT riders, you say you need a knee slider around Ramsey hairpin, they wouldn't have believed you. But John McGuinness safely through, that 10-second advantage being maintained. And if it was Ramsey hairpin to Ramsey hairpin, John McGuinness would have been on that record pace, because 17 minutes 18 seconds was his time. So he's got to slow down for the pit stop here. 17 minutes 21 seconds, so exactly as it was at Glen Helen. 17 minutes 18 seconds for that 130. And there's number 2, Adrian Archibald, and Ian Hutchinson right behind him. He's just going to decide whether he nips up the inside. Adrian Archibald looks over his right shoulder, looks over his left shoulder, and Hutchinson's passed, and Ian Locker isn't letting him go at all. But here's Guy Martin now. What is the difference? It's Guy Martin at it, and it's down. It's still maintaining that 9.62 seconds. John McGuinness leads Guy Martin by 9.62 seconds is the difference. Ian Hutchinson third, 7 seconds down on Guy Martin. It's then Adrian Archibald, 39 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson. Well, looking now to see if Michael Rutter has arrived, and he has. No, it's not. It's Ian Locker. My apologies. We've totally messed up on that one. Ian Locker is through. That other rider that we saw, which was the distinctive green fairing, the Stobart, we got confused with Michael Rutter, so my apologies for that. And we have the fact that Ian Hutchinson, Adrian Barchi, has Michael Rutter holding on to 6th. Ian Locker still maintaining that 4th position. Number 7, Ian Locker. Let's start again, Royster. You made a right mess of that. John McGuinness leads by 10 seconds from Guy Martin. Ian Hutchinson 3rd. 7 seconds down on Guy Martin. It's then in 4th, Ian Locker. 28 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson. Adrian Archibald. Well, it could be old change because we missed Connor Cummins the last time. We're not going to miss him this time. If his granny gives us a Guinness cake, there he goes, number 10. Connor Cummins, the fastest Manxman round the TT course, and looks determined as he gets it away. And we can tell you that he is maintaining that 5th position. 10 seconds down on Ian Locker. It's then Adrian Archibald, 1 second only, would you believe, down on Connor Cummins. It's then Michael Rutter, number 1, who is in 7th place, 12 seconds down on Adrian Archibald, and we're expecting Steve Plater, and there he is, beautifully round as well, knee tight out to the left-hand side as he sweeps it round Ramsey Hairpin. It's not a threatening bit when these boys take it. It's absolutely sweeping round the corner, and we can tell you that Steve Plater, of the riders through so far, is holding on to 8th position, 3 seconds down on Michael Rutter. There's the other newcomer, Keith Moore. He's safely through as well, number 12 at the number, the Ewell Duncan Racing Machine. And Cameron Donald was a revelation in this race last year, but it looks as though John McGuinness is determined to take the senior TT. Is number 13, Ian Armstrong now. He's here, so I'm sure we'll be able to slot him into a leaderboard position if it's the top 10. And it certainly is. Ian Armstrong holding on to 10th position, number 13, 2.67 seconds only down on Keith Moore. So what a battle there between Steve Plater and Keith Moore. So it's John McGuinness by 10 from Guy Martin, 3rd Ian Hutchinson, 4th Ian Locker, 5th Connor Cummins, 6th Adrian Archibald, 7th Michael Rutter, 8th Steve Plater, 9th Keith Moore, and 10th Ian Armstrong. And something only like there's a big gap between Ian Locker and Ian Hutchinson, but the rest covered only by about 20 seconds. Next rider we expect here will be local lad Gary Carswell, former fastest Manxman round the TT course, but I don't think he'll be too disappointed with that if he gets another great finish here. 15 Ian, and there's number 17, there's Nigel Beattie, tight out, Connor Cummins' mate, so he won't be able to see him today. They rode the lap together the other day in the 600 production class. And we can tell you, if the riders through so far, we can slot Nigel Beattie into 11th place, 11 seconds down on Ian Armstrong. And then Gary Carswell, number 8, number 15, he's just 13 seconds down on Nigel Beattie. So that completes our top 12 here from Ramsey Hairpin. Unfortunately, the computer crashed on the last lap, but the rider was okay. But it just caused a little bit of confusion amongst us here. But again, Pat O'Hanlon, as he always does, had a piece of paper which he threw towards me with everything exactly as it was when the computer came back into life again. So absolutely tremendous news. Pit stops this lap. McGuinness is flying. Martin's not letting him get ahead, though. What will it be like at the pit stops? On behalf of Bennett's the biking station, back to the grandstand.
And it's also a question of will it be like just before the pit stops as well, because John McGuinness once again is on an absolute flyer out there. If it was a flying lap, then I think that 1:30 figure would be achieved. But can he do it when he also has to slow down to come into pit lane? And Guy Martin is also kicking the wedge out there as well today. So fantastic stuff between those boys, McGuinness, Martin and Hutchinson. Back in 1989, Steve Hislop set the first 120 figure, and we go back to 1976 when John Williams cracked the 110 miles per hour barrier. John McGuinness is at Cronknymona. He's at Cronknymona now, so he's going to be coming down towards that pit stop, and we'll be keeping a very close eye as well to see exactly what's been happening. Number 20, though, Mark Parrott, is now a retirement as well. Mark Parrott is a retirement, number 20. So deep disappointment for Mark after what was looking like a really promising TT in the early stages of the week. So McGuinness so far, the leader on the road, the only rider so far through at Cronknymona. At the bungalow, he'd stretched his lead over Martin to 11 seconds. 11 seconds the lead at the bungalow. And Martin with a 9-second lead over Ian Hutchinson in 3rd place. So it's going to be action stations. I can tell you that the HM Plant Honda pit stops have been absolutely slick hot this week. Fantastic stuff by the pit boys as we look up the road now and the klaxon sounds to indicate the approach approach of a motorcycle as McGuinness comes into the stop box, and we look at the computer, and it might have been done. It has been done! It has been done! 130.354 miles per hour. He's gone round this course in 17 minutes, 21.99 seconds. Wow, we've seen history today. 130 miles an hour. John McGuinness, the first man to crack that figure, and he's done it on a lap, slowing down into pit lane. Chris Kinley.
Yeah, you could actually sense the anticipation down here as he came into the stop box. I've read an interview that John did after I told him he did 129.4 last year, and he said it absolutely put him off for a lap. So we're not going to tell him. Let's let him get on with that. Let him get on with this race. 11 seconds at the bungalow, 130.354, and I'm sure a big cheer from everybody in the grandstand as he leaves. That is absolutely superb. Who's the next man into the stop? Hutchie's in. Ian Hutchinson is in here now, so just move the other HM Plant boys out of the way. Hutchie stops now with Adrian Archibald right beside him on the Relentless by Task machine. And there's Michael Rutter and Guy Martin, so this is going to be pretty tight on this at all. Hutchie is in with that win the other day. We'll get the difference, but what a lap record. The 130 has finally gone at the TT. We had a little talk about this morning. We thought if it don't go on the first lap, it'll definitely go on the second. So a scrubbed rear going in for Hutchie as quick as that. Into the slot, into the little locators there. The chain just being put on. You hear the little beeper going in the background. Hutchie's chain, a couple of problems here with the chain for Hutchie's machine. It's just stuck Ian Locker into the stop box, just on hard on the brakes now. So Hutchie losing quite a bit of time in here. Let's hopefully he'll stay calm. He's got that experience of that TT win now. So Guy Martin's still in. We've also got the Task machine of Archibald with Anstey going out earlier on. Here's Hutchie gone, but a little bit of time lost for Hutchie. The HM Plant bike needs to fire. It doesn't. It does now. And there is Archibald out as well. So a bit of a disaster. Here's Rutter. Rutter just about to go, and there's Guy Martin with a pretty good stop. Oh, I didn't think the Hydrex Honda was going to fire then, but it did. And who else is in here? Ian Locker on the Black Horse machine. Rutter took a bit of time to get going there. So here's the Black Horse machine of Ian Locker as the beeper goes yet again for another rider into the stop box. It looks like Connor. It is Connor Cummins now, the fastest Manxman ever, taking that title away from Gary Carswell, 125.6. Here's little Welshman Ian Locker just about to get in now. Locker just about to go. There is Locker away, and here's Connor. Connor in, nice and steady, the big man. We'll go to Tim O'Hanlon soon as he gives me the nod for those times. He's still working furiously on that. We'll find out the exact difference. Remember, Hutchinson lost quite a bit of time in the pit, so has that given Ian Locker the chance to get any time back? The rear wheel out on Connor's machine. And a scrub rear going in now. Nice gold shiny wheels on that. Who's this man? It's a newcomer. It's Plater. And he's about a third of the way down pit lane here on the AIM Optimalones Yamaha. Just in now. So we'll just have a little wander over to Tim and find out if he has got those times for us. And well, bit of a disaster for Hutchie, but what's the story, Tim?
Well, after that amazing lap by McGuinness, he's got a 23-second advantage after the pit stops over Guy Martin. McGuinness was 42 seconds in the pit, whereas Martin was a very slow 48 seconds, so Martin's lost more.
Guy Martin's lost more time. What about Hutchie?
Hutchie is 12 seconds behind Guy Martin, and Ian Locker is 25 seconds behind Hutchie.
Okay, there's the story, Charlie. What a second lap that was, Charlie.
What a story. What a story. And how is the story going to develop from here on in? Because McGinn is clearly on a mission. However, I suppose he will know that there is that margin there. So does he have to push it to the max? 23 seconds ahead of Martin after only 2 laps racing of this 6-lap race. The senior TT throwing up all manner of drama already, and Martin in second place with a 12-second advantage over Ian Hutchinson. So let me give you the details then. In some detail, John McGuinness, our race leader, number 3, lap time 17 minutes 21.99, a speed of 130.354 miles per hour. Lap 2-4 in second place, number 8, Guy Martin, 17 minutes 26.32, 129.816. So a terrific lap time again by Guy Martin, and don't forget that was slowing down as well. Big problems with Keith and Moore, I'm being told. I'm looking to my left and I can't see anything, but Chris Kinley can.
As he went to the bottom of pit lane, engaged gear, we're not sure exactly what happened, but he just seemed to stop. He's actually right down in the return road now, so maybe somebody will be able to have a little look out the window and see, but problems to Keith and Moore leaving the pits.
Ian Hutchinson in third place, number 6, 17 minutes 37.4. and a speed of 128.455. And fourth place, number 7, Ian Locker, 17 minutes 53.74, 126.5 miles an hour. Those are the computerized times for lap 2, and those times ahead of the pit stop. Off to Glen Helen now, Morris.
Yes, thank you. It says waiting for data. We're waiting for this man. Here he is. McGuinness, lap 3. Pit stop, first pit stop completed. Same line as ever. What a fantastic lap. 130.54, and well, even Guy Martin, who broke the existing lap record with 129.816, still a considerable amount of time down and has lost more in the pits, 6 seconds or so. We were told it was 23 seconds as they left the pits. What will it be here at Glen Helen on lap 3? A pretty comfortable advantage for John McGuinness, I would suggest. First in the Superbike, bidding for the 2 wins in a week, certainly. He's had a couple of seconds as well in the Super Sport and Super Stock. So not bad, is it? But a long way to go, not half distance yet. But McGuinness, the only machine we've had through here in the sunny conditions here out at Glen Helen. The next machine on the road, I'm trying to think who that should be. Probably should be Hutchinson, I think. But all quiet for the moment, so we look for Hutchinson. He's had a good week too, hasn't he? A couple of thirds, and of course that magnificent first place in his first TT victory. And there he is, but not far behind him is this man, Adrian Archibald. A bit down on the pace again, Adrian. But there's Guy Martin, so he's still in that second place. But well, 20 seconds, that means he pulled 3 seconds back. So Guy Martin certainly not hanging about. Had a slow pit stop to McGuinness. I think we reported about 42 to 48 seconds. That's Locker. Doesn't miss him, I think. No, Rutter, sorry. Look for the green one, don't we? But it's Rutter on the Kawasaki. So Michael Rutter safely through. He's in 5th place behind Archibald. But Martin's certainly flying. He's pulled, well, 2.5 seconds back, I think. There's Locker with the distinctive yellow helmet. Sorry about that confusion. So Ian Locker also through. He moves up into 4th place on corrected time following the pit stop. So it's McGuinness from Martin, Hutchinson and Locker, then Archibald and Rutter. And despite the number of retirements, a fabulous race, really. And McGuinness, well, what can you say? It's really superb. The pit stops always seem to be around the same 40-second mark. So the HM Plant Honda team certainly got those off to a fine art. And it's a big advantage when you can gain 4, 5, 6 seconds or even more in the pits, but he's also gaining it, of course, on the road, such as the speed of this man McGuinness with that 130-mile-an-hour lap on that second circuit. Connor Cummins, well, he was battling for that being the fastest Manxman there, and certainly seems to have gained that on this particular circuit. And he's had a really good week too. 8th in the Superbike, 6th in the Super Sport, 5th in the Super Stock, and currently holding on to 6th place. Dropped a little there following the pit stops because he dropped behind Adrian Archibald. He's 2 seconds behind Adrian and 23 seconds ahead of Michael Rutter, who's in 7th place. So Adrian Archibald in that 5th place, but 15 seconds down on Ian Locker. So a little better for Adrian. He was 7th in the Superbike, 13th in this race last year. That's Steve Plater. And really cracking on as a newcomer, having that battle as the best newcomer with Keith and Moore, but we heard Keith's in a bit of trouble at the bottom of pit lane, but Steve Plater certainly isn't. He's in 8th place through here following the pit stop, just 3 seconds down on Michael Rutter, so could be a significant move there. But McGuinness, 20.5 seconds ahead of Guy Martin. Guy Martin, in turn, 12.7 seconds ahead of Ian Hutchinson. Is then a 27-second gap to Ian Locker. Locker, in turn, has a 15-second advantage over Adrian Archibald, who is just that 2 seconds ahead of local man Connor Cummins, who's in 6th. 23 seconds further back on that, almost 24, in fact, is Michael Rutter, there followed by Steve Plater. Just an opportunity while we've got a moment to mention the helicopter fund. So far, over £1,200 has been collected here at Glen Helen. They're looking to break their record too, so if you could throw any loose change and loose fivers and tenors into the bucket for the helicopter fund, a great cause. We'd be absolutely delighted to see if they can break the record as well. Ian Armstrong, 13, slots into 9th place, but 42 seconds down on Steve Plater. I suspect there's going to be more who will get into those leaderboard positions. Although I don't know, just looking back, James McBride is the next, and he was down on Ian Armstrong. And of course, another of the locals we'll be looking for is number 25, Chris Palmer, also circulating pretty well. is Gary Carswell. Now, just looking at it, he's 6 seconds down on Ian Armstrong of those that have gone through. So Gary still having a good run. He was 21st in the Supersport, 9th in the stock, and 10th in this race last year, and currently holding on to that similar position in 10th place. So, with 3 laps gone, John McGuinness leads Guy Martin by 20 seconds. Ian Hutchinson is 3rd place, 12 seconds down on that. It's then Locker, Archibald, Cummins, Rutter, Plater, Armstrong and Carswell. With that, back to the grandstand with Bennett's the biking station.
In the interest of safety, the Manx Motorcycle Club respectfully requests that all domestic animals and livestock adjoining the TT course are secured during the practice and race periods. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter, which is greatly appreciated.
It's the event of a lifetime. And if you're into bikes, the Centenary TT Festival will give you plenty to talk about. But please, don't stop and chat at random points on the roads, especially on bends. As well as being dangerous, this can cause real problems with traffic buildup when our roads are extra busy. So stick to designated stopping places. Stay safe and sound this TT. Love the TT. Love life. Take it easy.
Manx Radio TT.
Encore un nouveau record pour John McGuinness, 208,5 km/h, plus de 130 miles per hour pour la première fois. À Glen Helen, au début du 3e tour, en tête le numéro 3 John McGuinness, 20,5 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 8 Guy Martin, lui 12,7 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 6 Ian Hutchinson. Heike.
Ja, danke schön. Immer noch das Gleiche und doch etwas Neues. Das Neue ist, John McGuinness hat seinen Rundenrekord noch einmal gebrochen und das beim Einfahren in die Stoppbox. Er hat sein Ziel erreicht, 208,5 km/h, die unglaubliche Zeit, die man für unmöglich hielt. Und die Führung ist aber nach wie vor das Gleiche, nichts Neues. Nummer 3, John McGuinness, gefolgt von Nummer 8, Guy Martin, mit einem Rückstand von 20,5 Sekunden, gefolgt von Nummer 6, Ian Hutchinson mit 12,7 Sekunden und damit zurück an Charlie.
And straight to Ramsey.
John McGuinness just gone through Ramsey hairpin, so that indicates that we could be on for another record lap here. I wouldn't have thought so after that pit stop though, but John McGuinness is not hanging about, and he doesn't have to, because timing from Belaf indicates that possibly on the computer readout there that Guy Martin has pulled back 3 to 4 seconds on John McGuinness from the run to from Glen Helen to Belaf. So he's probably been indicated that he can't hang about. It's absolutely nothing at all. It looks a lot on paper or on computer screen, 20 seconds, but when you're hammering round here, and they must be absolutely hammering round here, you've got to be keeping it on the pace all the time. Just one misgear or something like that, and it's gone. But John McGuinness safely through Ramsey hairpin here on lap 3 of this absolutely tremendous senior TT, sponsored by Poker Stars, and, well, drama indeed, as they say. Here's Ian Hutchinson now, number 6. Down through, but Guy Martin is right behind him. There's Guy Martin now, leans it over, tightening on the Hydrex Honda. There's number 2, Adrian Archibald. And we can tell you that at Ramsey hairpin now, it's down to 16 seconds. 16 seconds only the lead for John McGuinness. If you go technical, it's 16.35 seconds that John McGuinness leads Guy Martin in the race here. Number 3 from number 8. It's then Ian Hutchinson, 15 seconds down on Guy Martin. That's not much different, I don't think, from what it was at Glen Helen. And this is Michael Rutter. My apologies for the last lap. We confused him with Ian Locker just by the fact that we saw the green fairing. But that's Michael Rutter who's through, and Ian Locker, he's here now. So the 2 green machines, they can call it that. Different makes, I must admit, but certainly they're going to be circulating together very, very shortly, I must admit, because Ian Locker certainly looks as though he's got his race head on today. We can tell you that Ian Locker is 34 seconds down, though, on Ian Hutchinson. So it's McGuinness from Martin from Hutchinson, with in 4th place Ian Locker, number 7, 34 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson. Of those through so far is number 2 in 5th place, 13 seconds down on Ian Locker, with Michael Rutter holding on to that 6th place, 37 seconds down on Adrian Archibald. Absolutely tremendous racing here, but I think there's another machine coming into view now. Rounds the white gate, Stella Maris shoots into view through his local hometown of Ramsey in the Isle of Man is Connor Cummins. And he looks determined, just takes his left hand off the bar there, one of the rip-offs away, and takes that away. So again, as the sun shines here at Ramsey hairpin, the flies must be making a little bit of a difference. We can tell you that Connor Cummins is holding on to that 6th place now, because Adrian Archibald has got ahead of him. So the pit stops there, a bit of a change round for that. It's now Adrian Archibald in 5th place, 13 seconds down on Ian Locker, but Connor Cummins now relegated to 6th place, 7 seconds only down on Adrian Archibald, with Michael Rutter number 1 making up our leaderboard there, and 29 seconds down on Connor Cummins. Next machine interview, that should be number 11, and it is. That's newcomer Steve Plater. And he just impresses me every lap. Absolutely tremendous Steve Plater through here at Ramsey Hairpin. And he's got Stella Maris weighed up as well, driving it out, that sweeping right-hand bend and into our view. We noticed also that going well was Mark Miller on the Aprilia. And if you see one of those close up, you've got to be a big man to ride one of those, but certainly it sounds well, it looks well, and Mark Miller, the American, certainly holding on to that one, and very, very impressive indeed through here at Ramsey Hairpin. Michael Dunlop, another one, a good one as well, and certainly no problems at all for them. Nice to see Tim Poole, number 47, Southern 100 last year. He came into cross four ways about 40 mile an hour too quick, and hit the bales on the side where we were doing the commentary with Jeff Cannell, and it was knocked unconscious, but I'm glad to say that he recovered and virtually walked away from it, and delighted to see him out here circulating today. This should be, and could be, and is number 13, Ian Armstrong. So he's through. There's a banner on the right-hand side. John Laxey Kinraid retires today after 30 years in the Isle of Man Constabulary. So with the news from Ramsey Hairpin that it's John McGuinness, by now only 16 seconds from Guy Martin, on behalf of Bennett's the Biking Station, back to the grandstand.
Well, Guy Martin is definitely the man to be keeping an eye on at this moment in time. He is going round 7 seconds quicker than John McGuinness at this moment. There won't be any adjustment to the record lap times because of those pit stops, but Guy Martin is certainly on a mission out there. At the bungalow, the gap is pretty much as it was at Ramsey. McGuinness 16 seconds ahead of Guy Martin, Martin 16 seconds ahead of Ian Hutchinson, and Hutchie 36 seconds ahead of Locker at the bungalow. Some retirements to tell you about. Number 37, Roger Marr, has retired at the Nook. Number 42, Paul Owen, has retired at Quarter Bridge. Number 82, that's John Nysill, has retired in the pits. Number 77, Alan Benny, has also retired. Chris McGahn has retired in the pits, I'm being told. John McGuinness is through Cronkney-Mona. John McGuinness through Cronkney-Mona, so quickly time to give you a couple more retirements. Number 77, Alan Benny, I mentioned. Number 24 is also a retirement. That's Dan Stewart. That's a big disappointment for Dan. Dan retiring at Crookshanks. And into pit lane right now comes Steve Linsdell on the most interesting bike in the race. That's the Pattern. It's already been into the pits once after lap 1. The Pattern, which was the spare bike for the Italian company's Grand Prix campaign in 2001. 500cc two-stroke. And it's lovely to see it racing here, but clearly Steve has had one or two problems, but he's in the pits and it's going to continue. There's no problem. This is the scheduled pit stop. So we look up the road now, and here comes McGuinness. And McGuinness is through at 170.6 miles an hour on the speed trap opposite us here. McGuinness goes through at the end of that lap. The lap time, remember, that includes the pit stop, 18 minutes, 21.02, 123.365 miles per hour. So McGuinness is through, and away he goes on lap 3 of this race. So the halfway stage has been reached. John McGuinness in control of things at the moment, but Guy Martin is on the charge, and Martin is also through Cronkney-Mona. Hutchinson and Archibald also signalled up there as they go up towards Signpost Corner for that tight right-hander, and then the drop back down towards Douglas, and then they come into view along Glen Crutchery Road here. So we're looking for Guy Martin then, and we'll be checking very closely to see exactly what that split is, if he's made up any further time on McGuinness. But an exceptional performance on this lap by Guy Martin, the man who broke the junior lap record the other day. Not yet a winner of the TT. And there goes Hutchie. And there's Martin. They both go through. Martin 173.3 miles an hour on the speed trap, and the gap is extended slightly by McGuinness. 17 seconds now, and Martin with 18 seconds between him and Hutchinson in third place as Archibald goes through. Archibald currently in fourth, but we're still waiting for Ian Locker to come through. Locker starting in seventh place. Seventh place on the road. Well, seventh place on the road when they left us here. One or two shufflings about since then, and Locker at the moment fourth on corrected time. He is through Cronknimona. Michael Rutter also through Cronknimona. Another retirement, number 32, and that is David Coughlin. As Michael Rutter goes through, gives the thumbs up to his pit team as he goes through, and Locker goes through as well on the Honda. So McGuinness, Martin, Hutchinson and Locker, that is the top four. Ian 36 seconds behind Ian Hutchinson in third place. So I just gave you David Coughlin's retirement, and also retirement is number 12, Keith Amore. Keith came out of his pit stop, but clearly with problems, and pulled in down the return lane. So Keith Amore is also a retirement from the race. So Guy Martin's details then at the end of lap 3, 18 minutes, 24.04, 123.028 miles an hour. Ian Hutchinson, 18 minutes, 29.47, 122.426 in third place. Number 17, Nigel Beattie, has retired at Kirkmichael. He did have one or two problems in the pit stops, got out there again, but unable to get past Kirkmichael as Connor Cummings goes through. And Connor in sixth place, Adrian Archibald up into fifth. Connor in sixth place at the moment. So just to give you Ian Locker's details, for lap 3, 18 minutes, 37.53, 121.543 miles per hour. So that's the top four. Archibald 16 seconds down on Locker. Archibald in fifth place. And then Connor Cummings 5 seconds down on Adrian. Connor in sixth at the moment, and Michael Rutter, of those who've passed us here, 35 seconds down on Connor Cummings. Michael at the moment in seventh place. And here comes another machine interview now, and that is the number 11 Yamaha of Steve Plater. Steve Plater goes through 169.2 miles an hour as he sped past us here down Glen Crutchery Road. So Steve Plater goes through, and he is very, very close to Rutter on corrected time, less than 2 seconds in it, and Plater's been getting better and better as this week has developed. Just a quick moment to say thank you to everybody out at Ballaugh Bridge, especially to Barry McDonald. They've collected over £2,000 for the helicopter fund during the course of the week. So that's an excellent performance. What about McGuinness? He's at Glen Helen soon with Morris.
Yes, and an excellent performance from McGuinness too, Charlie. It's fantastic to see. But, well, the course of the last two laps here, of course, they'll be getting involved with some of the later runners or back markers. But McGuinness is here now because one of those has just got away from us. So very quick. In fact, there is one of the later runners, number 79. We'll give him a mention, Alan Connor. But certainly McGuinness safely through here. And as I've said, it depends where they come upon these, but it's 16 seconds the advantage or thereabouts that he's held now for about 3/4 of a lap. And yet another of the later runners, 75. I thought that was down as it was Chris Petty. I thought I got that as a retirement at some point, but clearly not, because 75 is through here. But so is McGuinness, and we await the arrival of second and third places, men, because quite a number of those. 74 also there, Dave Hewson, and 80, Darren Sluice. So he's had a lot of that traffic to get through, certainly in the run-up from Ballacrane through this very tricky Glen Helen section, which can cause all sorts of problems, but McGuinness is safely through there. And of course, it's some of these later runners that potentially could be holding up his challengers, notably number 8, Guy Martin, of course, Ian Hutchinson holding on to that third place. So the advantage is lap here, 17.29. That's 11 seconds slower than the previous lap, but there's a quick approach. 8, that's 6. Quick as that. That's a good battle around the road. That's something to enjoy, and those spectators are waiting on the Crocky Body Straight. You're going to get Guy Martin with Ian Hutchinson just behind him. There's one of the aforementioned later runners, number 85. I thought that was Mike Hose. I didn't think there was going to be somebody through there. There's Adrian Archibald through. So McGuinness, 17 seconds his advantage here over Guy Martin. It's well, roughly the same as it was, I think, at the grandstand. So they're maintaining station now. McGuinness will, of course, have his boards. He'll know where he's up to. Don't worry, that was number 78 going through there. That was Sander Bitter. And Ian Hutchinson, 21 seconds down. He's dropping a bit of time on Guy Martin, but he's got a comfortable position there. 56 seconds up there. 7 Locker and 1 Michael Rutter. So the 2 green machines that both Roy and I seem to have mixed up, but it's Locker in front on the road of ahead of Michael Rutter, and obviously therefore in front on corrected time. He's in that 4th place, 38 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson. 83. I can tell you Mike Hose is through, but Michael Dunlop, I'm told, is a retirement at, sorry, just get that again, please, at Ballaugh Bridge. So a disappointment there for Michael Dunlop, number 38, a retirement at Ballaugh Bridge. So McGuinness, 17 seconds ahead of Guy Martin. Martin in turn 21 seconds up on Hutchinson. Hutchinson has a 38-second lead on corrected time over Ian Locker, who's maintaining that 4th place ahead of Adrian Archibald. He's 18 seconds down on Locker, and 43 seconds ahead of Michael Rutter. Of course, Connor Cummins has to come to us just yet. Well, there he is as we speak. So Connor Cummins slots into that 6th place, just 4 seconds down now on Adrian Archibald. He's pulled a little bit back there on that battle for 5th place on corrected time, and of course relegates Michael Rutter to the position he's been holding for so long in that 7th place, 38 seconds down on Connor Cummins. So yes, the back markers, it depends where you come upon them, of course. This is not the section through from Ballacrane to Glen Helen here, but of course if you come across them on the Cronkyvody Straight or somewhere like that, it's no problem whatsoever. So McGuinness, yes, he had that lead in excess of 20 seconds. He's smashed the lap record. He's maintaining now about a 17-second advantage over Guy Martin, who's having a pretty good run. He said he had to go quicker. Well, he's certainly done that. There's Steve Plater. So Steve Plater still going well, and he's moved ahead of Michael Rutter on corrected time here at Glen Helen. So the news is that McGuinness has about the same advantage, 17 seconds over Guy Martin. He's in turn is 21 seconds ahead of Ian Hutchinson. So from me, for lap 4, it's back to the grandstand.
In the interest of safety, the Manx Motorcycle Club respectfully requests that all domestic animals and livestock adjoining the TT course are secured during the practice and race periods. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter, which is greatly appreciated.
Thanks to the Centenary TT Festival, our roads have never been so busy. But it's not just people and vehicles that use them. The entire TT course is made up of public roads, so all kinds of animals, from domestic pets to farm livestock, could be just around the next corner. So keep an eye on your pets and stay extra aware when you're driving or riding. Make sure you and your pets and farmers' livestock are kept safe and sound this TT. Love the TT. Love life. Take it easy.
Manx Radio TT.
En tête à Glen Helen, 4e tour, le numéro 3, John McGuinness, 17,4 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 8, Guy Martin, lui 21 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 6, Ian Hutchinson. Heike.
Dankeschön. Nach der 2. Runde, nach dem Pitstop, sieht die Führungsspitze immer noch genauso aus wie vorher. Nummer 3, John McGuinness, liegt mit einem Vorsprung von 17,4 Sekunden vor der Startnummer 8, Guy Martin. Dieser wiederum hat einen Vorsprung von 21,2 Sekunden auf die Startnummer 6, Ian Hutchinson. Dirk Kalic leider ausgeschieden. Die anderen 3 Jungs sind alle noch voll dabei. Und damit zurück an Charlie.
Guy Martin has taken a second out of John McGuinness on the stretch from Glen Helen up to Ballaugh. It's 16 seconds now, the lead that McGuinness has over Martin. The speed trap out at Selby tells me that John McGuinness went through there at 177.5 miles an hour, and Guy Martin went through there at 181.4 miles an hour. Hutchie went through at 175.2. So Hutchinson's first lap, 191.2 on the Unisys speed trap, still the quickest down Selby Straight so far today. So McGuinness then in the lead from Martin, from Hutchinson. It's a 1-2-3 for England at the moment, and a 1-2-3 for Honda as well. Honda, of course, now moving out unchallenged as the most successful manufacturer here on the Isle of Man in the 100 years of racing. Down below us, we still have riders circulating at the end of the previous lap. That was number 34, James Edmeade, going through. But it's all about the action at Ramsey with Roy Moore.
Yes, number 73 there again. Fabrice McRae going to get snaffled up, I would think, as is number 67 as we await the race leader, John McGuinness, Carsten Schmidt. Well, they'll be safely round Ramsey Hairpin and heading for the end of that particular lap. But here he is, John McGuinness, Ramsey Hairpin, lap 4. Just listen to this. the same spot. He just takes his left hand off the bar, takes the rip off, by the RI helmets I think that are doing that, takes the rip off and just throws it to one side, and he's way up there towards the waterworks now. But Guy Martin not hanging about. It is very difficult to conceive when you drive down Solby Strait that you can go through there at 181 miles per hour. It must be absolutely a thrill of a lifetime to do that. But he's not hanging about as Guy Martin, and certainly there's still a lot left in this particular race here. Interesting to note that Paul Dobbs and Craig Atkinson were going very well as well, as 79 and 77, who have obviously been passed by the race leader. 79 Alan Connor and 77 Alan Benny. They've obviously been passed by John McGuinness somewhere from, I think they went through Glen Helen just virtually ahead of him, so he's well past them now and on the way. So the next machine interview, as it breaks the timing beam down the bottom, should be and is. Yes, it is. It's Guy Martin, second on the road now. He's got past Ian Hutchinson, and he just has a quick look over his shoulder. Ian Hutchinson's there, and 75. Chris Petty is there as well. And what is the difference? What is the time difference? 18 seconds maintained. That 18 seconds has been brought up now by John McGuinness. 18 seconds the advantage at Ramsey Hairpin over Guy Martin. Number 80 and number 74. And again, there's the one we're looking for, number 2, Adrian Archibald. So having a good ride today on the Relentless by Tash Suzuki. And Adrian Archibald safely through, but we didn't notice him. I think he was holding on to 5th place and having a good battle there with Connor Cummins, so we'll see how that develops. And it was nice to hear Connor the other day complimenting the Manx Sports Aid Foundation on the help they'd given him to pursue his career. And would you believe we might have a Manx cycle rider riding in the Tour de France, and that's all courtesy of the Manx Sports Aid Foundation. Not receiving help from them is Ian Locker, because he's got ahead of Michael Rutter. 2 distinctive green machines. It was the other way about when they went through Ramsey Hairpin the last lap, but a great ride there by Michael Rutter, and he's not letting him get away at all. He must have passed him, but certainly that was the case there. And this is the pattern now. Steve Linsdell just has to take a slightly different line. And exactly every time he doesn't quite get it on the pipes, and away he goes, but certainly that one's through. So it's John McGuinness by 18 seconds from Guy Martin, with Ian Hutchinson holding on to that 3rd place, 21 seconds down on Guy Martin. It's then in 4th place, number 7, Ian Locker, 48 seconds down on Hutchinson. 5th, number 2, that's Adrian Archibald at the moment, 16 seconds down on Ian Locker, but we're looking out for that battle between him and Connor Cummins, and Connor Cummins is here now, distinctive 10, and he's trying, gets the Millsport Yamaha sending round and away. Right behind him, we didn't catch that number there, but this is 83 now, so they're mixing it. Mike Hose, I can tell you that it was 81 that was stuck in between them there. Etienne Goddard. So that is the news that Connor Cummins now is 5 seconds only down on Adrian Archibald. Adrian Archibald, I think the difference last time here at Ramsey Hairpin was something like 7 seconds, but now it's just 5. That in 6th place, Connor Cummins is down on, in 5th place, Adrian Archibald, number 2. We then have Michael Rutter, number 1, in 7th place, but he's 38 seconds down on Connor Cummins. So it's McGuinness, Martin, Hutchinson, Locker, Archibald, Cummins, and Michael Rutter. Another fast machine approaching now, I would think. Sweeps it out from Stella Maris down into the brilliant sunshine here at Ramsey. And as before, Steve Plater, tremendous. Just listen to that as it accelerates away up through the box as well, not losing any revs at all as he accelerates up. Paul Duckett was going well too, number 46 we noticed, and having a great week. Stephen Oates on the machine there, provided by Hallett Aviation, going well. Jimmy Moore was interviewed and he said, I don't have to think so much now when I'm going around this TT course, lapping at 120 miles per hour, and noted going through very neat and tidy on that last lap as well. And looking further down the leaderboard, some tremendous performances being put up by Mark Buckley and likes of Gary Johnson and Les Shan. But with the news from Ramsey Hairpin, it's McGuinness by 18 seconds. On behalf of Bennett's The Biking Station, back to the grandstand.
Well, incredible stuff. John McGuinness going like a train, but Guy Martin, what a lap he is on as well. We're going to keep a very close eye on that. At the bungalow, McGuinness has stretched the lead again to 19 seconds. So Martin, who was closing around the south and the western stretches of the island, but McGuinness just going away a little bit across the mountain. 19 seconds his lead at the bungalow, and Martin with a 22-second lead over Ian Hutchinson in third place. So the top 4 on the road are past the bungalow. Adrian Archibald is through, but Ian Locker yet to get there, and he would shuffle in at 4th place. So now we're waiting for John McGuinness to be signalled at Cronknymona at the end of lap 4. And at the end of lap 4, it's more pit stop action. And McGuinness is at Cronknymona now. So the pit crews will be bracing themselves. And those spectators here in a packed grandstand will be looking forward to seeing, again, some really slick action by the Honda boys. And we saw the other day just how important good operations in the pits can be and how costly it can be when it goes wrong. Cost Bruce Anstey dear the other day when we were commentating from here. The sun just hidden by cloud at the moment, and it's a bit misty over the mountains, over towards the west of the island. But a dry day, that's the most important thing. As number 72 comes past us, that's Mark Ramsbottom. Mark Ramsbottom on his Suzuki, one of the newcomers here this year. And good to see that the TT continues to attract a good quality of newcomer as well. So the klaxon sounds, and we look up Glen Crutchley Road towards our right, and here comes John McGuinness now into the stop box. And let's just take a check on his lap speed for that lap, and it is 129.296 for the lap, 17 minutes 30.52 with Chris Kinley now.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Charlie. Into the stop box, nice and steady, 129.296. So that's a pretty good average so far, well above the old race average so far. New scrub tyre going in. You just heard the spindle being fired out, the chain just dropping off now. He's got about 19 seconds. So the rear wheel out of the slot now, put to the side pit wall, and a scrubbed rear Dunlop going in now. It goes just going into 2 little locators. The chain will be dropped back on. You can probably hear that there, and then clicked back in position. There's a big long spindle, around about, I don't know, 12 inches long. Yeah, 12, 15 inches long, and that's just hammered in there with the air jack, and John McGuinness is in. I'm sure that he's told, yeah, that's it, as quick as that. And that's a pretty great stop again for the HM Plant team. That's pretty quick, and you can hear the round of applause from everybody around here for all the work that they've done. Next man on the road should be the Hydrex Honda of Guy Martin, then it will be Ian Hutchinson. Then Ian Locker, of course, and Michael Rutter. It is Guy Martin just over the rise, and Hutchie just behind him. Guy Martin into the braking area now. No problem at all. Yeah. Staying out of your way there. So Guy into the stop box, gets his right foot down now and gets the okay to go. He stops, go past us now. And then it is Hutchie in now. Be interesting to see what Guy Martin's lap was there, considering he was 20 seconds on the last lap and down to 17 this lap, Charlie.
Guy Martin's lap time is 17 minutes 36.49, 128.566. So it looks like he lost a little bit of time towards the end of that lap. 23 seconds the difference as they came into the pits. Chris.
Thanks very much for that. There you go, Guy Martin. This looks a pretty slick stop to me as you hear the hooter going in the background. Torque wrench on. Guy Martin just getting the fuel on. They had problems with the cap last time. Let's hope the Hydrex boys can get this straight on this time. Who's in now? Looks like Archie. It is Archibald in number 2. Guy Martin's still here. The guy's ready there with the fuel cap now, and Hutchie's out before him. They're going to go out together. This is going to make a heck of a sight. Guy Martins fires first though. Hutchie has 1 or 2 problems getting the HM Plant machine started there. Unfortunate there. So here's Locker coming in now, the number 7 machine. In fact, there's 2 machines. It's Locker, right behind him is number 1 Rutter on the MSS Discovery Illison Kawasaki. Locker in, left foot down, off he goes on the Stobart machine, past us now. And then it's Michael Rutter, number 1. Michael in, of course. Good to see Michael back here this year. Adrian Archibald in at the moment on the Relentless by Taz Suzuki, currently holding off to 5th place at the moment. So a good day there from Adrian, getting a little bit of form back. So you can just hear the hammers going here on the jacks. They've all got air bottles in here this year. There's Archie. Archie's out, but what does that cost Hutchinson? And Guy Martin got off to a flyer there. So a scrubbed in the centre rear tyre for Michael Rutter there, and it's just into the locators now. The chain rocking on again, all pretty similar sort of designs. And, just a couple of problems there. A little bit of pressure on the guy. Just can't seem to get it into the locators. They'll get that sorted very, very quick. Hopefully, yeah. So Ian Locker's still in with that left leg. He's like me, Ian, a bit short, so he's just got there now. Stobart machine fires, and they're having problems with the MSS Discovery rear wheel. They're having problems with that rear wheel on Michael's machine. So a lot of time being lost by Michael now. There's Connor Cummins into the stop box, hard on with the front brake, and he is in. And that is the JMF machine stopped with the camera on the left-hand side of the machine. They finally get Michael's wheel in. The torque wrench goes on, click. And that's it. So a lot of time lost for Michael Rutter there. That's going to drop him well back and could give Steve Plater the chance to get past him. What about that, Tim O'Hanlon?
Well, McGuinness and Martin had identical pit stops of 45 seconds each. So McGuinness has got a 21-second lead over Guy Martin. Guy Martin has a 20-second lead over Ian Hutchinson. And Ian Hutchinson has a 44-second lead over Ian Locker.
So that's your top four then. So not much time lost in the pits. But Michael Rutter, a bit of a disaster there. Charlie?
Yeah, and it's agonising from here just to watch and see what's going on. The desperate work on Michael's bike, but at least he was able to get away, so he's still out there. We also saw, while all that was going on, Steve Linsdell going past on the pattern, looking in good shape as well. So Steve Linsdell is out there on his third lap. Right, okay, down below, Connor Cummins has set off from his pit stop and just adjust the visor as he races away down below us and out of pit lane back onto the main track of Glen Crutchley Road and under the bridge and leading over towards the hedge on the far side. And the spectators here thoroughly enjoying it as I look down from our position here down Glen Crutchley Road, the packed grandstand, and beyond that the VIP area, people clustered against the wall and the fencing looking onto Glen Crutchley Road, and on the far side as well, people lining the walls and the hedges in their front gardens round the road junctions, all thoroughly enjoying the racing. There's more action down in pit lane as well. I think is that Steve Plater down there. It is Steve Plater down there in pit lane as the tank is filled up, and they're putting the cap back on now and one or two other final adjustments before he sets off. But it's all about what's happening on the southern part of the course with John McGuinness and Guy Martin heading for Maurice Maudsley at Glen Helen.
Yes, thank you, Charlie. We wait his arrival with some anticipation. Just pit stops completed. We say only 66 miles of racing left. There's McGuinness. Round the left-hander, sweeps it away up towards Craig Williams, onto the crossbody straight. The other machine behind him, of course, is not one we're looking for. Be a little while before we get that battle on the road, certainly, between Ian Hutchinson and Guy Martin. But obviously, Guy Martin has the advantage of that, as he started 20 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson, and he was, of course, 21 seconds down on John McGuinness on corrected time. So John McGuinness bidding for the double, and, fine performance indeed. Superb riding for McGuinness, and he's got a good advantage there, 21 seconds. He pulled it out. It was pulled back to about 16 here on the last lap, but obviously the notice boards have been put out, and he's certainly got a bit of the hurry up signal, but still lapping at around the 129 mile an hour mark. The lap record already gone, and the race record almost certainly to disappear. 79, another mention for one of the later runners, Alan Connor. I think he got a mention last time, so he must be circulating pretty well. Disappointment for Rutter with the difficulties in the pit, so that could change things. And of course, Connor Cummins is only, 0.38 of a second down on Adrian Archibald as they completed last lap. But there's two here, absolutely together. 8 round the outside. Ooh. Well, Guy Martin 20 seconds down and taking one of the back markers there. We haven't had Ian Hutchinson certainly through here. Now they left together, so obviously problems have been beset Hutchie on that lap, because it was one of the back markers he went round. 75, there's Hutchie now, so he's lost a bit of time, and they're mixing it with some of these later runners, so problems for Hutchinson certainly, because they left the pits together. Dropped a bunch of time on Guy Martin there, because he's now 40 seconds down, so he's lost a further 20 seconds on that run. Could be any reason for that, of course. May have overshot Brala Crane or anything, but certainly dropped a lot of time there. So Guy Martin secure in that second place. There's Adrian Archibald. Just ahead of him was Etienne Goddard, 70. Whoa, can't see that number. I think it's 13. It could be. No, missed that one. 74 was, Ian tells me. Dave Hewson, I think he got a mention last time as well. Guy Martin 20 seconds down on John McGuinness, 40 seconds ahead of Ian Hutchinson. Adrian Archibald currently in 4th place. There's Ian Locker, number 7. Ian Locker, distinctive yellow helmet on the Stobart. machine, and of course he was circulating with Michael Rutter because we mixed them up a couple of times. Not now, of course, with Michael Rutter having those difficulties at his second pit stop. Adrian Archibald now in that 5th place. Will he maintain that ahead of Conor Cummins is the next question we're going to have to answer. But Ian Locker in that 4th place, 39 seconds down on Hutchinson, 25 seconds up on Adrian Archibald. There is Rutter now. So we mentioned Michael on his return to this course, and it's great to see him back, set up the fastest lap, as we said, in 1998. But he's not been back here for some years, of course. But McGuinness, he certainly has. He's been here quite a lot of late, and bidding for his 13th victory on this circuit. He put up victory number 12 on Monday, so victory 13 could be his. 85, he also got a mentioned last time round. I've got that down as Mike Howes, who was originally non-starter. I think 83 also. That's Mike Howes on the 600. Of course, we haven't got the 600 class yet. There's Conor Cummins with one of the back markers. Conor now 14 seconds down on Adrian Archibald, but ahead of Michael Rutter. So the news from Glen Helen on lap 5 is that McGuinness leads by 20 seconds ahead of Guy Martin. Martin in turn now 40 seconds because Hutchinson has dropped some time. So from Glen Helen, it's back to the grandstand with Bennett's the biking station.
En tête à Glen Helen, 5e tour. Selon le chrono, le leader, le numéro 3, John McGuinness, 20 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 8, Guy Martin. Lui, 40 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 6, Ian Hutchinson. Heike.
Ja, danke schön. Nach den zweiten Pitstops hat sich an den Führungspositionen nichts geändert. Nach wie vor liegt in Führung die Nummer 3, John McGuinness, mit einem Vorsprung von 20,6 Sekunden auf die Nummer 8, das ist Guy Martin. Dieser wiederum hat seinen Vorsprung auf die Nummer 6, Ian Hutchinson, auf 40,2 Sekunden ausgebaut. Und unsere anderen 3 Jungs sind immer noch dabei. Zurück an Charlie.
Well, once again, Guy Martin's enjoying himself on the western stretch of the course. He's narrowed the gap between him and John McGuinness by 2 seconds after leaving Glen Helen. At Ballath, it's 18 seconds, the gap between those two, but John McGuinness still very much in control. Conor Cummins was level with Adrian Archibald for 5th place when they came into the pits. So Archibald has been going well, or Conor's had 1 or 2 problems, and maybe the pit stop contributed to that, I don't know. But Archibald with a 14-second advantage at Glen Helen, so that gap opening up. Let's give you some of the other placings at the end of lap 4 then. We've had down as far as Cummings 6, Rutter 7th. In 8th place it was Steve Plater at the end of lap 4. 9th James McBride. 10th Ian Armstrong. 11th Chris Palmer. 12th Ian Pattinson. 13th Mark Buckley. In 14th place Gary Carswell. 15th place Gary Johnson. 16th Les Shand. And 17th Stephen Oates. John Burrows, number 29, is a retirement at Appledene, but to Ramsey now and Roy Moore.
Yes, just taking a visor off as number 72 just approaches there now. That's Mark Ramsbottom, but we're looking for race leader John McGuinness to hammer into view here at Ramsey Hairpin, lap 5 of the senior TT. Friday, June the 8th. Remember that date? It was time the first 100-mile-an-hour lap was set by that man, John McGuinness. Again, virtually in exactly the same place. The rip-off comes away and down onto the road it goes, so the flies must be causing a bit of a problem there for him, I would think. So John McGuinness through, and then we have number 73. Well, there's no problem at all in identifying that. Fabrice McRae on the Yamaha through, gives us a bit of a wheelie to entertain the crowd as he goes through. Dave Madston-Migdal, well, I think he's set a new record this year by finishing. I think it's already been confirmed that he's the most successful finisher round the TT course on the Manx Grand Prix and TT. Most starts, most finishes, whatever it means. John Watterson did a very interesting article on it, and I think Dave Madston-Migdal steps to the top of that podium now as being the most consistent rider for finishing the TT course. This is not the one we're looking out for. The gap at Ballath was there at 16, 17 seconds, I think. We're just looking to see who that was. I think it was number 67. Yes, it certainly was. And that's Carsten Schmidt. But this is Guy Martin here at Ramsey, lap 5. just drops the machine in, takes it round again, has a look over his left shoulder. He had company, I think, the last time, and Ian Hutchinson, but pit stops there caused a bit of problems for him, and he's not as yet at Ramsey. So Guy Martin onto that second place. It will be interesting to see that when you can take breath at the end of this particular race as to what the lap times were for the top 5 going through. They couldn't have been far away. Ian Hutchinson's here now. There he goes, safely through, but Guy Martin got a good advantage. Remember, Guy Martin starting at number 8 and Ian Hutchinson at number 6, so 20 seconds difference on what you've got on the road as well. So that is a commanding lead for Guy Martin over Ian Hutchinson. So that's just got to be maintained. Well, Guy Martin said a couple of last year about having a machine that sucked rabbits from the hedges. Well, he's got one now, because Adrian Archibald is here now, having that battle with Connor Cummings. Adrian Archibald through, drops it down. Connor would be, well, flying well and doing tremendous week for him as well. We also noticed that Chris Palmer was going very well indeed, and Roy Richardson, those that we mentioned when we're looking off there. There's number 75, Chris Petty. On the Suzuki, well, he's through as well, and a very, very fast approach, as he always does, by Ian Locker. Distinctive line round Ramsey hairpin, front end shattering under the braking, but Ian Locker through and going tremendous as well, and having a good day out. He was talking about the handling of his particular machine, and they were talking this morning it could be something as simple as a couple of pound in the tyre pressures could totally revolutionise it. Going back into the old days, they used to have the triangular tyres, which I noticed on the little Suzukis, which were tremendous interest for everybody up round the grandstand yesterday. But Michael Rutter is right behind number 74, and how will he do it? He takes him on the inside. Number 1, Michael Rutter. I think he'll get past on the approach to, well, he just chopped him out a bit. The other fellow wasn't letting him go there. Number 74, Dave Hewson, and certainly wasn't being very gentlemanly like to Michael Rutter, and I'm sure you'll have to ride round him on the outside as they approach Waterworks. So Michael Rutter through, Michael Rutter safely through. We can tell you John McGuinness now leads by 19 seconds from then in third place Ian Hutchinson of the riders through so far, 44 seconds down on Guy Martin. It's then number 7, Ian Locker. That 48 seconds being consistent. He's down on Ian Hutchinson. And there's Connor. You can see on the fairings where the boys have been trying really hard. Adrian Archibald 20 seconds behind Ian Locker, so we're on manual timing again here at Ramsey Hairpin, and certainly we'll give you that time difference. I think it was up to something like 7 or 8 seconds at Glen Helen, but certainly Connor has been trying. Just look at the very bottom of the fairing as they absolutely banked them over to the limit and the grip, and it's interesting to watch or look at the rear tyres when these boys have finished 6 laps round here. Well, the tyre doesn't do 6 laps. I think about 2 laps is about the maximum. Absolutely ragged round the edges where they've been trying so hard. Number 83, Mike Hose. Well, he's through. We've got Adrian Archibald holding on to that 5th position, 21 seconds ahead of Connor Cummins. So just as a recap there, on the pencil and paper, it's John McGuinness by 19 seconds from Guy Martin. It's Ian Hutchinson third, 44 seconds down on Guy Martin. In 4th place, Ian Locker, 48 seconds down on Hutchinson. It's then 5th, Adrian Archibald, 20 seconds behind Locker, with Connor Cummins top 6, 21 seconds behind Adrian Archibald. On behalf of Bennett's The Biking Station, back to the grandstand.
Well, the race record is surely going to be shredded along with most of the other records during the course of this week. The race record as it stands, 1 hour, 48 minutes, 52.06 seconds. So John McGuinness then out there on lap 5, and he's through the bungalow as well with a 21-second lead over Guy Martin at the bungalow, and Martin with a 45-second lead over Ian Hutchinson at the bungalow. So action up there on the mountain. They'll be thundering down towards Douglas pretty soon now. Somebody who isn't is Frank Spenner, number 50, who has retired in the pits, and a couple of other retirements as well to pass on. Number 31, Jimmy Moore, the American newcomer, has retired at Signpost. That's a disappointing end to what's been an excellent week's work here by Jimmy. And number 65, Steve Linsdell on the pattern. That's bad news. Steve Linsdell on the pattern has retired out at Bishop's Court. That means that we're up to, I think, now 20 retirements in total, so a fair amount of attrition out there today. The 600cc race, at the end of lap 3, number 56, Roy Richardson was in the lead from number 43, William Dunlop, and Roy looking pretty comfortable for the trophy that goes with that, 1 minute and 12 seconds. But McGuinness is now through Cronk Nimona, so coming up towards the end of lap 5, and only one lap, 37 3/4 miles of the Isle of Man remaining, only 37 3/4 miles of action. And here comes McGuinness now, and he scorches down in front of us, down Glen Crutchery Road he goes, and his lap time, well, he's easing off, but of course there was the pit stop as well, of course, as part of that. 18 minutes 25.49. John's speed when he passed us here, 170.3 miles an hour on the speed trap, 122.867 the average speed for the lap, but that of course did include the pit stop. But this is John's only flying lap of the race. Does he need really to crank it though, bearing in mind that he does have that cushion? Well, he certainly won't want to be easing off too much, because you can't take too many chances when Guy Martin is on your tail. Number 59, Krista Meenan, is a retirement at the pits. I can see Krista's bike being wheeled away down below us, and John McGuinness, the only man through then at the end of lap 5. Guy Martin should be next into view. Ian Hutchinson as well. Both those riders are through Cronk Nimona. Meanwhile, there's still pit lane activity involving riders from the previous lap, but it's all about Guy Martin now and whether he's been able to take anything further out of McGuinness's lead. And despite the fact that John is looking comfortable, you just can't take anything for granted. Ask Nicky Crowe as Martin goes through. Guy Martin at the end of that lap, not quite as quick as McGuinness, 18 minutes 26.5. 122.754 miles per hour, the average speed for the lap. And pretty much the same speed, though, as they came past us here on the speed trap, 170.3 miles an hour. So McGuinness with a 24-second lead at the grandstand as they head off on the 6th and final lap. Here's Ian. And Hutchie goes through a bit quicker than the previous two, 173.6 miles an hour. McGuinness, Hutchinson rather, 48 seconds behind Guy Martin. So are those the podium places that are going to be boxed off? The 3 riders who were on the podium for the junior the other day, but in a different order. Ian Hutchinson's lap time, 18 minutes 52.07 as Archibald goes through. And Ian's average speed for the lap coming out of the pit stop, 119.982 miles an hour. And Archibald currently in 4th, but that will shuffle down when Ian Locker comes through. Ian Locker, plate number 7. Bit more action down below as number 79 comes in. That's Alan Connor, the man who consistently attracts Morris's attention out there at Glen Helen in a bright yellow fared machine. But it's all about Ian Locker now, and there goes Ian. 170.2 miles an hour, and Ian slots into 4th place, 45 seconds behind Ian Hutchinson. Ian's lap time, 18 minutes 47.67, 120.450 miles per hour. So we've got a twin track approach at the moment, with the klaxon continuing to sound, with riders coming in for their pit stops at the end of lap 4. But up at the front of the leaderboard, the top men going out for the 6th and final lap as number 75 comes in for his pit stop. That's Chris Petty on the Suzuki. And there goes Michael Rutter, just signalling that all is well after that extended pit stop last time around. That cost him a fair amount of time. And Michael is through at the moment, lying in 6th place, but we still have to wait for Connor Cummins to come through here. Connor is through Cronk Nimona, and something like 20 seconds plus dividing Connor from Adrian Archibald. So Archibald looking solid in 5th place, which will give him some encouragement. Hasn't been the best of TTs for Adrian. In fact, he hasn't had the best of luck for the last couple of years. And here's Connor Cummins now, with a nod of the head as he goes through at 166.4 miles an hour. And he does take that 6th place, 22 seconds behind Adrian Archibald. And Michael Rutter just drops down. But Steve Plater looks like getting 7th place ahead of Michael Rutter. But we're off to Glen Helen. Morris?
Yes, we await the arrival of the race leader, John McGuinness. 28 miles to go from here. There's a quick approach now around the right and around the left. Superb work once again ahead of another of the later runners, number 62 there. That's Thomas Schoenfelder, but McGuinness safely through here on his 6th and final circuit. And could it be win number 13 to equal Molly, of course? Another of the later runners going through there. 17:32, Ian tells me, the lap, Glen Helen to Glen Helen. So, of course, those speeds considerably knocked down from that amazing second circuit when he exceeded the 130 mile an hour barrier for the first time. Another of the slower runners, 61, I think that was, just looking down, could be David Paradis. That was the change of number, taking Barry Wood's number. And yet another, that's 66, John Crellin. Another of the local competitors, and yet more of the later runners. They, of course, that's Alan Bud Jackson, are on their 5th circuit. McGuinness on his 6th circuit, and we await Guy Martin. 24 seconds, the difference at the grandstand, so 24 seconds lead McGuinness has on this final circuit. There's Martin now. So another podium position looks in the offing for Guy Martin from Kirmington, and another of the later runners, 72. Give that gentleman a mention. That's Mark Ramsbottom. He's safely through, I think, on his 5th lap. So yes, Guy Martin, and the question is, will his performance be mint? I think mint must be one of his Kirmington expressions. But there's Hutchie. So Ian Hutchinson also, following his success the other day in that first place, looking for another podium position. He'll have had, well, that'll be 4 for the week, I think, 3/3 and a first. Got to be pleased with that, I think, Ian Hutchinson. The other HM Plant Honda, of course, Ian Hutchinson there, 3rd in the Superbike, 3rd in the Superstock, and a win in the Supersport, and looks like a 3rd position for him in the senior. Adrian Archibald, well, he's gone better than previously this week, so I think there's some consolation in the week for him, holding on currently to 4th place, but he'd probably lose that to Locker in a moment or two, is scheduled to do, because he's 1 minute and 10 seconds down on Hutchinson. So Ian Locker should slot in there ahead of Adrian Archibald. But Adrian Archibald, nonetheless, holding on to that 5th place. He was having a battle on corrected time for quite some while with Connor Cummins, but Connor seems to have dropped back on that. There is Ian Locker into that 4th place, as suspected, 50 seconds down on Hutchinson and 20 seconds up on Adrian Archibald. So this is the final circuit of the final race of this Centenary TT, but there's more to come, of course. The Motorcycle News TT Centenary Parade of Champions, scheduled off, I think, at 1:45, where you can all see the stars of yesteryear, many of whom have been entertaining us on Radio TT with their thoughts, views, stories and anecdotes, and that's been pretty entertaining throughout the course of the last week. Another of the later ones now. That's a real difficult number on the far side. I think 67, I would have said, Caution Smith. But there's the quick approach of the other green machine of Michael Rutter. And Michael Rutter, of course, at the moment behind Adrian Archibald, but we still await Connor Cummins. We may not quite get him on this transmission. So 28 miles there was left for John McGuinness as he left here. He'll have eaten up quite a bit of that already. 79 now is just through there. We'll give you that as Alan Connor, because he gets a mention every time, as Roy said. But the news from Glen Helen on the 6th and final circuit is that McGuinness leads by 24 seconds from Martin. Martin, in turn, a 47-second advantage over Hutchinson as Connor Cummins goes through. But for the moment, it's back to the grandstand with Bennett to the biking station.
Au 6e tour, selon les chronos à Glen Helen, le numéro 3, John McGuinness, toujours en tête, 24 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 8, Guy Martin, qui a 47 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 6, Ian Hutchinson. Heike.
Ja, danke schön. Und nun in dieser letzten Runde des letzten Rennens dieses Jahrhunderts haben wir nach wie vor die gleichen Führungspositionen. Nummer 3, John McGuinness, liegt in Führung mit 24,2 Sekunden vor der Nummer 8, das ist Guy Martin. Und dieser wiederum hat einen Vorsprung von 47,4 Sekunden auf die Startnummer 6, Ian Hutchinson. Frank Spenner leider bei den Pitstops ausgeschieden. Thomas und Carsten sind immer noch dabei. Und damit zurück an Charlie.
We have a police message. If you're in the Cregny Bar area, a police message. A silver VW car, registration MAN 961, parked behind the Craig, is to be moved as soon as possible. A silver VW car, MAN 961, parked behind the Craig, to be moved as soon as possible, please. A set of car keys has been handed in to the marshals at the bottom of Bray Hill. So have a quick check. Have you got your car keys? If they've gone missing, consult the marshals at the bottom of Bray Hill. Further retirements, number 30, Liam Quinn, is a retirement, and number 83, Mike Hose, has retired at the pits. Number 83, Mike Hose, who was the last of the starters to go on a 600 Honda, has retired at the pits. Steve Plater at the end of lap 5 was lying in 7th place, and that again confirms Steve's steady improvement throughout the week. Just looking back at his results, 10th, 15th and 8th the other day, so if he can hold on for that for 7th, that'll be great news. Now to Roy up at Ramsey Hairpin.
What an honour as a Manxman to be commentating in 2007 on hopefully the win of John McGuinness. We can hear a machine in the Ramsey area. This isn't the first one, but the second one is. Number 60 is just in the way. John McGuinness noticed that and takes an entirely different ride round Ramsey Hairpin, but still takes that rip-off off in exactly the same place. But I think it was number 60 there that he had to negotiate. Ian Mackham, well, what a treat for him that'll be. He'll be there on the video, I would think. The video across the road, taking Ramsey Hairpin as it always does for the last lap. I think that's number 84. Let's just have a check and see. Yes, no, it can't be 84 because that was a non-starter, was in fact 64. 64, we can tell you that number belongs to Adrian McFarland. So he's through there from Northern Ireland. Adrian down the centre of the road, shaking the back end comes number 62. Maybe realising, Thomas Schottenheimer, that with the race leader gone by, there's a possibility they could be made famous by getting them on camera, and that certainly is the case. But we're looking for number 8, Guy Martin, to approach us. That will be the next one, but it's not number 58. 58 there being, I think that was the same as it was at Glen Helen, Andrew Marsden. Well, there must have been 10 to 15 riders go through there, and Roy Richardson seems to be hanging on to that 600 class win or possibility. And this is now the very fast approach of the second machine is Guy Martin, and he's not packed in any way of thinking about getting this win, but certainly the time difference, I would think, would be too much now. 27 seconds, we can tell you, is the time difference between John McGuinness, number 3, and number 8, Guy Martin, 68, going over that damp patch in the middle of Ramsey Hairpin, which has been traditionally there. And William Dunlop, well, when he approaches us up here, he's tucked in right behind the bubble, would you believe? And here's another treat there for Alan Bud Jackson on number 67, because right behind him is Ian Hutchinson, number 6. So they has just taken him just before they approach the waterworks there. So Alan Bud Jackson, 21 years, I think they mentioned the other day. I wouldn't have known that, but certainly the statistics say the 72 is through as well. 72 there, Mark Ramsbottom. So Ian Hutchinson through, Guy Martin through, John McGuinness safely through Ramsey Hairpin, and the next one to approach should be number 2. Number 2 being Adrian Archibald, having that battle with Connor Cummins. And certainly Grunt, if that's Suzuki, as he gets it saddled up there, just absolutely powers the power down onto that back wheel. Gary Carswell having a lonely ride. Well, the TT course is like that sometimes. You just ride against the clock. The theory is you ride against the clock from the start, and certainly Gary is in a position where riding, I think at number 16, 17 is it? No, number 15. Certainly there's not many around him. 27 seconds is the lead. Guy Martin behind John McGuinness with Ian Hutchinson. Just wait for Ian Locker now on his last lap here on the senior TT to go through. And he's been trying hard today as well, and certainly it looks as though he could be holding on to that 4th position or maintaining that 4th position. 47 seconds down, Ian Hutchinson on Guy Martin, and we do have number 7, Ian Locker, now into that 4th position or maintaining that 4th position, but quite a big gap there. 59 seconds the difference. So John McGuinness now will be well over the mountain. Tremendous coverage off the aerial shots as Michael Rutter comes in. A bit quicker than the last time, but certainly he's got this one off, and he'll be absolutely delighted. Pat O'Hanlon, my timekeeper there, saying he was talking to his father the other day and saying how disappointed he was that he couldn't get the finish, but certainly he looks as though he's well on his way there to completing 6 laps here. So Michael Rutter would be holding on. We're just looking for Connor Cummins down, number 10. number 10 to come through, and that will complete ours there. But some tremendous riding indeed. And the replicas, the much sought after replicas, well, with the speeds at 130 mile an hour, they're becoming more difficult to get. They're clapping at Stella Maris, and that indicates that Connor Cummins must be in the area, and there he is. He's got a back marker just in front of him, but he tries the inside line and successfully negotiates that one through there. That's number 79 now. So all these boys got another lap to do, remember. It seems unbelievable now, and Connor has got to go back to the grandstand and go out on a final circuit. We can tell you that Adrian Archibald is holding on to that 5th position, 13 seconds behind Ian Locker. Connor holding on to 6th, number 10, Connor Cummins, and it's 29 seconds now, the difference between him and Adrian Archibald. We don't want to miss the finish. On behalf of Bennett's The Biking Station, back to the grandstand.
Well, McGuinness only has to hold it together now. 28 seconds his lead over Guy Martin at the bungalow. So he's pulled out a little bit more compared to when they passed you, Roy, up there at Ramsey. But no heroics are required. John McGuinness just needs to keep it together. And he's got this Centenary TT surely in the bag. But nobody will be counting any chickens. The mountain course has been known to bite back. And goodness me, it's done that this week, as Nicky Crowe found out, as Bruce Anstey found out. So nobody will be assuming anything at all until that number 3 machine of the HM Plant Honda is safely back here at the grandstand. But John McGuinness then on that stretch from the bungalow down towards Cronknymona is looking good at this moment in time. John McGuinness, number 3 from Morecambe in England, just the other side of the sea from where we can look out from the top of the grandstand here. So close to home really by line of sight, and so close to home now in terms of the finish, because he's signed at Cronknymona. So John McGuinness, a minute or so away from the conclusion of this race. John McGuinness has taken the race by the scruff of the neck and really did the business in the first 2 laps. The first 130 mile an hour lap set on lap 2, and the race record surely will perish as well. John McGuinness on his way down then from Cronknymona. Number 44 has retired at the Gooseneck. That's Dave Madsen-Mignall. He is out at the Gooseneck. The crowd sitting attentively here in the grandstand. The pit crews also looking up Glen Crutchery Road as we wait for the sight and the sound of that number 3 Honda emerging from the gloom at Governor's Dip and then scorching down alongside the rugby field. I can hear the sound of a helicopter chattering overhead. They're waving, and John McGuinness is wheeling down Glen Crutchery Road. He takes the checkered flag with a huge wave of the left hand, and John McGuinness, 100 years after Charlie Collier did it on a matchless, John McGuinness proves that he's exactly that. He's matchless. What a win. The outright lap record. The first 130 miles an hour lap as well. And the race time, yes, that's a record too. 1 hour, 46 minutes, 44.23 seconds. He's shattered the old race record by 54.61 seconds. What a performance. What a day. What a race. What a century. What a man. What a bike. What excitement. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So it's all about the placings now on the podium. Guy Martin is through Cronknymona, and McGuinness at the Cronk had a 33-second lead, but down to Chris now.
Just listen to this. He's just coming up the return road now. You can see Bob McMillan there from Honda. Listen to this. Oh, words do not describe that, really. What a race. And there is the 130 mile an hour barrier. We'll let all the photographers get in. Let's get in and get a word with the team. Becky gets in there for a quick kiss, and John, I think, absolutely all in. It's been a very, very difficult week. There we go, the 130 mile an hour lap printed by the local sign maker, Sign and Design. 54 seconds, as Charlie said, inside that old race record. Gets Ewan up onto the bike with him. And let's just get in here. Becky, can I just jump round you there, darling? Thanks very much. Just get in there and give him a kiss first. That's the way to do it. Let him get his lid off. You all right there? You right there, Ewan? Yeah, he's all right, yeah. Guy Martin didn't we believe, nice and safely, so just hugs his young fella there. But what a day for Honda again. Another win for John McGuinness, up to 13 wins. Hutch is in as well, so that could be, we'll get it confirmed, a 1, 2, 3 for Honda again. You are the boy.
Oh, absolutely unbelievable. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. 2 times winner on Centenary, first one to break the 130. Absolutely fantastic. I just I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the army, spectators, marshals, everybody out there done a fantastic job, and everybody's been so appreciative of us boys out on the track, and boys and girls and everybody waving around the track. It was absolutely amazing. Bike was absolutely fantastic. Pit stops were brilliant. Everything were brilliant. Track was in good shape. I tried really hard and thoroughly enjoyed my afternoon's work.
Take a big skill of juice. I've got more questions for you. Take some more juice on board there. Hard work out there. 54 seconds inside the old race record as well.
That's amazing, isn't it? I told you, if you'd been patient earlier in the week, everybody's looking for it. I knew it had happened in the senior if the weather was good. The weather's been good all week, and that's what happens. We can put on a magic show and everything's in good shape, but that was unreal.
How does that feel, 130?
Yeah, excuse me. Water's gone down the wrong hole. It's unbelievable, yeah. I was at that dinner last night, and there's so many past winners and world champions, and I'm third best rider overall now. You could win Molly. Something special, I had a bit of a dinner last night with everybody, and that's just capped the week. Took a couple of weeks off for me, and I'd just like to thank everybody who's been involved with me for the last couple of years. They're the people who made it happen. The racing was tight until I got the mega pits, but you still got to ride the bike, and it's a full package from us all, and yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Just got to ask, is Leslie, was that quicker than Dundrod, Leslie? No, it's not. Leslie says no, so Dundrod's still quickest, but that's some speed, John. What about the pit? Said the pit stops are great. Your boys there, and the round of applause they got from everybody in the grandstand when they did a fantastic job.
It was brilliant, I heard the grandstand sort of rev up, and had some pits that signals had 130, and I went into Quarter Bridge on lap 3, and everybody there just reared up, and at Braddon Bridge and all the way around the course. They were really appreciative of watching that 130 mile an hour lap, and I'm just so proud to have done it. It's just unbelievable. I didn't think when I was apprentice bricklayer, sat in a muddy hole a few years ago and wanted to do a TT, I never thought I'd ever win 13 and be the outright lap record holder. So yeah, sensational, brilliant.
You told me about last year when I told you about the 129.4. It put you off that, so I didn't tell you this time.
I know, yeah. 129.4 last year was amazing, but to go over 130 is incredible. And I'm just, it's not like me to be speechless, but I sort of am really. I'm still on a mega high at the moment. Just coming off the pits, and everybody's here, all the family's here, and everybody's here to see it, to witness it. So, job's a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, the senior TT winner, John McGuinness. Hold on, John. Oh yes, the big cheer there. Let's get in and have a word with Guy Martin. He's just in the middle of a TV interview, so we'll get over and see if we can get Hutchie. Just get round here in a second if we can. Guy, just in the middle there, so we'll just hold on for a second. Guy, of course, on the second lap went inside the old lap record as well. Let's jump over here and we'll just hang on. I said we can hang on here a second. We'll just tidy it up. But what a performance by Guy Martin there on that second lap. Of course, John's old lap record 129.45, and then Guy 129.816 on his second lap, coming into the pit stops. And let's have a look. Let's have a little look at Guy's bike. Actually, yeah, just have a look at the rear there. So, don't know, maybe a bit of a chain problem there.
No, I just reckon they were just jumping sprockets at the time, but we're just going to check it out and let's have a look.
All right, okay, so maybe just have a look at the old tyre. The rear tyre doesn't look too bad there now, but I'm sure Guy very, very pleased with his work here at the Isle of Man TT. Let's get in here and have a quick chat with the man. Got to tell you that you were under the existing lap record. Then John went and did it 130. You did 129.8. So not much of a consolation, but a good week.
Bugger, yeah. Just mega big thanks to the lads. It was 2 o'clock this morning they finished working on the bikes. Last minute head gasket change, and it's just race was going good. Say P3 on my first lap, and it was mint really. I sort of learnt a lot from the first race on Monday. Got past Locker pretty easy, and then Ian Hutchins could see me coming. He picked up and let me through. A big thanks to and I could just crack on. And then the 4th lap, just before the pit stop, changed to jump in the sprockets. I thought he did. And I thought that didn't do that, did it? And it bloody did. And I thought, oh, bugger. Anyway, I thought, well, we've got a wheel change coming in. A new sprocket will be grand. And went out on the 5th lap, and it was just jumping the sprockets. I've rode the last 2 laps there on our throttle, just trying to keep short shifting so it didn't jump the sprockets anymore. But, lucky to finish. Just a big thanks to the lads. It's meant you just meant to get the thing home on the podium in second as well, especially.
What about your second pit stop there? You and Hutchie went out. Hutchie had a problem, and you could sense a chance, and you fired past him.
Yeah, I see. We both come in together more or less, didn't we? And I don't know what happened. Is that where he lost all his time?
He had problems, wouldn't start.
Right, because I know I cut 20 seconds on him on the road, and then the next thing, I was getting P plus 20 on my board because me and him were sort of riding around together, and then the next thing I got P45 or something. So I think I lost another 20 seconds on the last lap, but at least I got it home.
A P45? I don't think he's going to be giving one of them.
Hey, P45, I forgot about it, yeah. Yeah, just a big thanks to all the lads, though. Bloody hell, 2 o'clock this morning they got done. They've been working the nuts off all week. Just massive thanks, Hydrex, Honda, Sean Mir Racing, massive, yeah.
Stop fiddling with your hat.
I know, I just turn like I'm not a big hat wearer, but anyway, mint. Thanks very much.
So anyway, is it a pint of beer or a cup of tea tonight?
Oh, the boys have just gone to get me a mash, cup of Tetley, mint.
Well done, Guy Martin there, brilliant stuff. Let's jump in there. Well done to all the Hydrex team. And let's have a quick word with Hutchie. We can just jump in here, Ian. A good racing. He doesn't even seem to be sweating there. You young fellas must be so fit.
Yeah, I've had quite a big gap all the way, haven't I? So I didn't really have to push, but just been a fantastic year for me, considering where I was sat in the gravel at Alton Park and struggling away at the Northwest 200. The big bike has been the hardest one for me, and I've tried my hardest to get stuck in, but you've got to be 100% round here to be safe and fit to ride them that fast. And first lap I just got yellow flags through the Glen Ellen section from Martin Finnegan coasting, got my head back down, and then I had the same with Bruce Anstey coasting. I just never really got to dig deep at the start, and by that time Guy had me in sight, and he's done a fantastic job for Honda, and as soon as he got me in sight, I'm obviously like a red rag to a bull, and he's chased me down. So anyway, P3 with plus 50, at least I got to enjoy the place, and it's been a pleasure riding such a good bike for Honda, so I just want to thank them for the opportunity.
Second pit stop was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it?
Yeah, the boys have done fantastic all year, and one mistake, it's just one of those things, innit? I made a mistake at Ballacrane, I couldn't get first gear and I went straight on. So 40 seconds I thought, oh my god, it might be gone now, and I pulled back out, I still couldn't get first gear. Thought it was maybe going to be race over, but I don't really know what happened. So anyway, it got back to the end, and the boys have done a fantastic job in all the rest of the pits, so thanks to them.
What about the crowds around the course? John was just saying it was mega.
Yeah, it is. It's, absolutely thousands of people sat everywhere, and it's a little bit strange coming over the mountain. The fog was so low, it all came cold. It was like the middle of winter going over there, but maybe a little bit steady over there on the first lap as well. But yeah, there's fans everywhere, so just thank everybody for my pit boards as well, because I had one for the 600 race. I had about 10 today.
You won a race, you see. They like you now.
Yeah, so hi to all the fans out there for waving on the last lap.
Well done, Hutchie.
Thank you.
There you go, your third place man, Ian Hutchinson. Back up to you, Charlie.
Thanks very much, Chris. So John McGuinness then, his first win here was back in 1999, and now, as he mentioned before, he is now installed as the third most successful solo racer here in the history of the TT, behind only Mike Halewood and Joey Dunlop. Mavis.
Charlie, John McGuinness, pour la première fois, une vitesse moyenne de 208 km/h. L'art du pilotage ne s'exprime encore d'une manière aussi instinctive, sans pareil. Le vainqueur, le numéro 3, John McGuinness, en 1 heure, 46 minutes, 44,23 secondes, avec une vitesse moyenne pour la course de 203,6 km/h. Heike.
Ja, danke schön, Mavis. Hier neigt sich nun dieses letzte Rennen, das Senior-TT-Rennen, dem Ende zu. Und wie erwartet gab es einen neuen Rekord. Diese Jahrhundertfeier hatte Rekorde. John McGuinness hat nicht nur seinen eigenen Rundenrekord, sondern auch seinen Rennrekord gebrochen, der nunmehr bei 1 Stunde 46 Minuten 44,23 Sekunden liegt. Das ist eine Verbesserung von 54,61 Sekunden. Ganz unglaublich. Fantastisch. Herzlichen Glückwunsch an John McGuinness. Herzlichen Glückwunsch auch an den Zweitplatzierten, die Startnummer 8, Guy Martin, mit einem Rückstand von nur 32,7 Sekunden. Und man sollte sich einmal vor Augen führen, dass sogar Guy Martin den alten Rekord gebrochen hat, aber es hat eben nicht sollen sein. Glückwunsch auch an die Nummer 3, das ist die Startnummer 6, Ian Hutchinson, mit einem weiteren Rückstand von 47,6 Sekunden. Und noch erwarten wir hier die Heimkehr unserer beiden Jungs Thomas und Carsten. Wollen wir ihnen die Daumen drücken und damit zurück an Charlie.
So let me give you the details about some of the other placings then, with the top 4 confirmed: McGuinness, Martin, Hutchinson and Locker in that order. 5th place, Adrian Archibald. 6th was Connor Cummins. Steve Plater taking 7th. Michael Rutter 8th. Ian Armstrong 9th. And James McBride in 10th. I'll just go through some of the stats for you as well, just confirming all that. First place, number 3, John McGuinness, 17 minutes, 39.44 for the final lap, 128.207 miles an hour. John's race time, 1 hour, 46 minutes, 44.23 seconds. That's a new record, 127.255 miles an hour, the average speed. John's fastest lap on lap 2, the fastest lap of the race, 130.354 miles an hour, an outright lap record. Runner-up, number 8, Guy Martin, 17 minutes, 48.15. 127.162 miles an hour. Guy's race time, 1 hour, 47 minutes, 16.96, 126.608. More stats to come, but Ian Locker is now with Chris Kinley.
Have a jump in here and just have a quick word with Ian if I can. Ian, just a quick word. Happy, not happy, smiling?
No, it was just a hard race, you know. Bike was jumping about a bit, and it's just made it a long race for me, really. I think I scared a few people again around the circuit. But, yeah, no, in one lap it would be great, and then the next lap would sort of catch you out in exactly the same bump, and it would sort of have you out of the seat and legs off, and, you know, it was feet off the footrest and things, so just difficult. And, yeah, I'd just like to thank Paul Bird for giving me this bike. You know, it's a really quick bike. It's just a shame I couldn't have done a bit more with it.
Bouncing all over the place, was it? Have the heart rate up?
Yeah, you just get used to it, you know. But you have to sort of. I was trying to sort of alter my style, just on, you know, just the way I rode it through the race, you know, because it was the less I revved it, the less it seemed to jump off the bump. So it took me a lap or so to do that, and then, but it sort of struggled really, and that was it. So.
Are you going to be down Balan with it tomorrow?
No.
You're going to have your bikes down at Balan?
That's right, yeah.
Looking forward to that. You like the Balan circuit?
Yeah, should be good, yeah.
Okay, Ian, well done today.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers. There's Ian Locker, there's your 4th place man. Just trying to move as other guys come flying through here. Who else have we got through here now? There's all the guys from the Classic Parade here, so we'll have to go up to the top bit there. So you just shout me when you want me to hand back for this very important presentation. Don't forget the James. Let's have a quick word with James. I think James 10th, I think he was, James McBride. Good performance, James.
Over the moon, really, yeah, brilliant.
Had a great week, haven't you?
Yeah, fantastic. The Yamahas went well.
And the Super Stock, you had obviously a good chance to be right up there, but here 10th in the senior.
Yes, great, eh? That's just testament to the Honda. The Hondas. No, my Yamaha's awesome. Cheers.
What do you think about John doing 130.3?
He didn't.
130.354 on the second lap.
There's cement dust everywhere.
Well, he didn't see it.
No, awesome. Well done.
All right, well done, James. See you next year.
Cheers.
Thanks very much, James McBride. I did see... hey, boy, you're all right, Clark. I did see Steve around, but I'm not sure where he went. Steve Plater, he did disappear. Tim, don't know if you've seen him at all. He was there, and then he was gone. So we're going to try and go and see if we can catch up with Adrian Archibald. Adrian will have probably gone already. I hope not. Let's have a word with Connor. Connor's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think that's 6th, isn't it? 6th place, yeah? 6th, Connor.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant. Just caps the week off. Had a great fortnight as well. And, yeah, again, thank you very much to the team and all my sponsors. Just fantastic.
And if somebody could tell me his fastest lap in me here, that'd be very nice. You were quicker than Gary, just about to walk by you now on your second lap, 125.6.
Yeah, that'll do me. Yeah, that's fantastic. Really, speed doesn't really matter to me. I just want to get around and have a good result, and which is what I did. And yeah, fantastic 2 weeks.
It's the pride of Ramsey. You're quicker than him now. He's a Ramsey boy.
Oh no, I don't want to shout that one. Like, very climb me on.
Here's Gary here. Come on in, Gary. Come on in. 2 Manx fellas done well here, you and Connor. We'll find out where Gary finished in a second, but Connor got himself 5th, and he's quicker than you now. You know what that means. 13th. You know what that means now. You're going to have to come back next year.
13th?
Yeah.
Unlucky for some, eh?
No. Good ride?
Yeah, I tried as hard as I could. I couldn't have ridden the bike any harder than that. I had a few massive moments. Like I had a huge scare out at Doran's Bend. The bike went sideways, and I'm really lucky to be here, to be honest. But you don't want those sort of moments, do you?
You really don't, not round here. But apart from that, conditions are good. Somebody's just saying, James McBride saying, a lot of cement dust around, boys?
Yeah, up through Guthrie's and up through Sarah's Cottage, there was just a lot of cement, and you just wanted to get through that part, you know, quite steady. So a bit dodgy, I suppose.
Connor's not even sweating. You're dripping. What's going on here, Gar?
It's a hot day, that's all. I haven't had my ice cream yet.
Okay, Gary, well done. Good appeal, are you?
Cheers.
Gary Carswell and Connor Cummins, thanks very much. Well done, fellas. Let's move up to the top. I think most of them will have, I would say, probably got out of the way now because it's really, really hot down here at the moment. So tell you what I'll do, Charlie, we'll just hand back to you and I'll make my way up there and see if anybody's there.
Well, congratulations to Gary Carswell there, and I think that's great reward. A good finish there for Hans-Peter Bolliger, the boss of the Bolliger Kawasaki team, who brought his team over here for the Centenary, better known for their world endurance racing, but they've got a good finish there. And also we miss all the best to Michael Waynand, who was the Bolliger Kawasaki team's other rider, but injured in practice and unable to ride. So I think I got as far as Ian Hutchinson with the stats. In third place, number 6, Ian Hutchinson, 17 minutes, 47.61 for the final lap, 127.226 miles an hour. Ian's race time, 1 hour, 48 minutes, 4.60 seconds, and an average speed of 125.677 miles an hour. And in fourth place, number 7, Ian Locker, 18.5.25, 125.159 miles an hour. Ian's race time, 1 hour, 49 minutes, 8.12 seconds, 124.458 miles an hour. And just while we were hearing from Chris there, Tony Heron, one of our engineers, just made the comment to me that John McGuinness's average speed of 127.25 for the race, that would have been a lap record in itself only a handful of years ago. And that just gives you some idea of how much the speed and the machinery and, of course, the ability of the man have come on over the years. The remodelling of Brandish, that will of course have had something to do with it. There was a lot of talk beforehand about how much impact that would make on the times here, but the fact remains that only one man managed to break 130 miles an hour for the lap, and of course that man was our senior race winner, John McGuinness. So we'll be going ahead with the garlanding ceremony in due course. The awards for the senior TT will be handed out at the TT grandstand at the close of the proceedings today. So that gives me a chance now just to give you some of the other details. Let me just confirm the split between those top four. McGuinness eventually winning by 32 seconds from Guy Martin, and Guy Martin with a 47-second lead over Ian Hutchinson at the checkered flag. Hutchie 1 minute and 3 seconds ahead of Ian Locker in fourth place. Well, I think I got to number 10 in terms of the finishers, so let's give you some of the other finishers and their placings. In 11th place, number 25, Chris Palmer, and Chris has certainly given the lie to anybody who thought that the demise of the 125cc class, in which he was the expert, would mean he would no longer be competitive. He really has got to grips with the big bikes, no problem at all. In 12th place, number 27, Ian Pattinson. 13th place, number 15, Gary Carswell. 14th, number 33, Mark Buckley. 15th, number 26, Les Shand. 16th, number 22, Gary Johnson. 17th, number 40, Mark Miller. That's a good ride by Mark on the Aprilia, getting that into the top 20. 18th place, number 28, Stephen Oates. 19th, number 35, Phil Stewart. 20th place going to number 52, Paul Dobbs. Okay, I'll run through some of the other finishers as well in due course, but still to come, we have the Motorcycle News Parade. That's due off in less than an hour now. In fact, it's about 50 minutes or so away, the Motorcycle News Parade. That'll give us the chance to see some of the great names from the TT's past, some great winners. Carl Fogarty will lead them off, number 1. Brian Morrison is there as well, number 2. Ron Haslam, number 3. Tony Rutter will go at 4. Brian Reed, 5. John McGuinness is slated to have another lap of the mountain course, so everybody out there can renew their appreciation for John, due to go at number 6. 1 or 2 of these numbers and entries still to be confirmed, but these are the latest details which we have. And I can just give you one or two of the other names as well. A fellow called Charlie Williams is going to be out there, so watch out for number 8. Agostini goes with number 9 on his bike. Mick Grant, predictably number 10. Phil McCallan, 11. John Surtees, 12. And so it goes on. So we'll give you a rundown on all those well, they're not competitors, are they? Riders, great competitors of the past. It's wrong for me to say they're not competitors. Once a competitor, I think they stay that way. But part and parcel of the TT Festival this year has been to bring them all back. And I know all those fellas are looking forward to getting out there on the course with their machinery. Well, it's taken a bit longer than usual, as you can well imagine, to bring the bikes out of the winner's enclosure and bring them up in front of us here in the grandstand, where they'll be wheeled into place below the podium, and then the riders will make their way up there for the presentation ceremony. The garlanding to be carried out by Giacomo Agostini himself, and also Michael Hazel, who is the Director of Financial Planning and Analysis for PokerStars, the sponsors of the race. Manx Radio TT with Bennett's The Biking Station, bringing you all the action and the thrills and the making of history today here on the mountain course. Tomorrow, if you still have an appetite for motorbike racing, there's plenty more to go and see with the Steam Packet Company National Road Races taking place at Bilown down at Castletown. Full programme of events with roads closing for practice at 1 p.m, reopening at 3:30. And then roads closing again at 4:30 tomorrow and staying closed until 8:30 for the race programme. And a lot of the riders who've been taking part in the TT over the last 7 or 8 days will be down there competing as well. Just looking through the programme, which is in front of me, the likes of Ian Locker, Guy Martin, Connor Cummings, Chris Palmer, Mark Parrott, Ryan Farquhar, Gary Carswell, John Burrows, Michael Dunlop, Andy Jackson, Stephen Oates, lots of big names, so plenty to go and watch and enjoy down there tomorrow at Castletown for the Steam Packet Company National Road Races. Well, there's an expectant crowd here and a massive scrum of media as John McGuinness, sheltered by a Dunlop Brolly Babe, makes his way up from the winner's enclosure. Sheltered by the Brolly, not by the Babe. Let me get that right. Oh dear, it's been a long week. Well done, John. Fantastic performance, absolutely superb, and he's waving to the crowd here in the grandstand. And remembering one of the highlights for us during the course of the TT was when John popped in to have a chat with us here in the commentary box before the start of racing a few days ago. And he's such a together fella. You talk to him and he's so calm and he's so rational and completely laid back. And he goes out there on the bike and he hammers it round this most incredible of courses at the most unbelievable of speeds. A new outright lap record, 130.354 miles per hour. Another entry in the history books. And I can see down there, I think one of the photographers has given him a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit side with a 1 painted in front of it. So that's a photograph which I'm sure will be seen in many of the newspapers to come. But now we're ready to go ahead with the garlanding ceremony, and we'll start with the ceremonial fanfare. So Ian Hutchinson leads the way up, and you know the way up there now, Ian, don't you? You've had a fantastic week. So Hutchie is up there for the 6th time on the podium. Guy Martin is up there as well. Guy on the podium for the 4th time, and there is the main man, John McGuinness, and he holds up that 130 miles an hour sign and holds up the helmet as well and takes the applause of the crowd. And now he's hoisting the 130 mile an hour speed limit sign above his head, and that's got a great reaction from the spectators here. And of course you can imagine that the photographers are loving that as well. So the garlanding ceremony to be carried out by Michael Hazel, the Director of Financial Planning and Analysis for PokerStars. So let's move on with that. And in 3rd place, let's have your appreciation, please, for the man from England riding a Honda, Ian Hutchinson. So Ian receives the cap for 3rd place. And what about a fantastic welcome for our runner-up? What an achievement and what a character from England riding a Honda, Guy Martin. And the winner of the Senior TT on the Isle of Man in Centenary years, sponsored by PokerStars from England, riding a Honda, John McGuinness. And John receives the cap for the winner, and the garland now will be presented to John, and he raises two clenched fists high into the sky here on another lovely, warm, dry day. As the garland goes around his head, the caps fall off, but nobody cares.